Hello, my name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taken from what's also called the psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, helping us to understand why it may feel like love can turn to madness. The name of the song we're playing in the background here, Love Turns to Madness. The singer's Dan McCafferty, one of our musical voices. And um, we'll do a very good quote about the difference between a regular person-to-person love, the fountain of love, mutual love. You know the person you accept. Love is at second sight. So after the fantasies, then you get to know them. At second sight, love begins. That first sight stuff is called transference love. That's the madness, the transference. You expect way too much. You expect somebody in the present to fix what took place back in the past. Too much expectation. That's the madness. Simple lyrics, nothing special, just a basic message. Um, what's going on between us? It's crazy. Okay, in most videos, I sort of do a general overview of some of the main core concepts, repetition, compulsion, and transference, and the splitting mechanism, and how we need to resolve the splitting issue, get it from upgrade the either or idea to both and. That's the healing when you get the both and. Baba Yaga says, you want to heal, you want to get back your feelings, you want to get back your embodiment. Can you demonstrate your willingness to see the third side of the coin? Can you go beyond jungle slogan thinking, adversarial thinking, either or thinking opposites? Can you go beyond that stuff? That's a sign of survival anxiety when the baby's hurt with the mother. You end up with these jungle slogans ideas because the memory of the trauma takes place during the time when he thought he was a goner when his mother didn't meet his needs. So that's the survival issue. He's going to be a goner, obviously. So then you have the baby copes with splitting, okay, freezing, repression, projection, identification with the aggressor, the Faustian deal maybe, and then the repetition compulsion. You want to show up the mother by treating others the way you were treated, to tell the world how she treated you in your anger like that. Or you're treating others badly in your attempt to remember and know that your mother treated you badly. So you're trying to remember in your repetition compulsion. Or you have this fantasy that, maybe something in the present can be mother in the past. Doesn't make sense. No pint of ice cream or bottle of wine can be mother's sweetness and spirit for the past. Doesn't make sense. No material or things you buy, matter, money, material, could be mother in the past. Doesn't make sense. But that part of the brain doesn't know. Time is timeless, infinite loop. No time. All the energy is in the memory that took place. So it's kind of in the body. It's kind of implicitly known, or procedurally known, or somatically known. Every body tells a story. The body remembers. The body keeps a score. Mysterious leap between emotion, psychology to the body. Every body tells a story. So that's called somatic memories, and so it's known, but we're not conscious of it. We're not conscious of it. The goal is, if we can't be conscious of it, that's like containing it, accepting it, and then the feelings can come to the present. If we don't have that container, the feelings are stuck in the past until we do so. So the summary statement is, when there's trauma, we repeat, in an attempt to remember. We don't remember. That's why we repeat. If we repeat and can make the inference, try to remember, and we do remember, not just cognitively, but of course emotionally remember. Now know what we couldn't back then, to feel what we couldn't have felt back then. Um, that's So you got to resolve oppositional thinking, give up these false fantasy hopes. You got to cut yourself some slack. You're not so guilty that you thought you were. It wasn't your job to save their mother. No, it's no baby's job to cure their mother. And he feels guilty and badly because he couldn't do so. You got to practice some kind of mindfulness discernment between real feelings and sensations, or real feelings versus sham feelings. Um, and there are several other kind of cortex, free association, dream interpretation, and so on. So and can you see me when you're looking in your mirror? Crazy, try to find a way so your heart don't get away. Yeah, we got a lot of great songs by Dan McCafferty on our soundtrack. An incredible soundtrack, lots of classic rock, folk, all genres, disco even, some opera, and songs from world music from all around the world. Recently from Nigeria and Brazil, some songs from there, Peru as well. So we're always adding new songs to our collection. Recently we played some Eli Sapi, and before that was Brian Andre, two indigenous singers. Brian Andre is Inuit. Uh, Ili Sapi, I think, like a mixed or something, half Inuit, half something else. Anyways, Beatrice Deer is on there, and Willie Mitchell, Willie Dunn, and the Cashton Band, and the Eastern Owl Band, and Caitlin Johnson, the Mi'kmaq singer, the Mi'kmaq, and and so Kelly Fraser, and so many others. Robbie Romero's famous song "Heartbeat," that's a good one too. Susan, and the more famous ones, Susan Aglu Clark and Buffy St. Marie, a couple from there. A lot of indigenous singers on our soundtrack. Um, and a few, it was just like loose ones like Jenny Luzon called Broken Spirit, and Sylvie Bernard called Je te destiné, sung in French, and so on. So, yeah, we got a great collection of songs by indigenous singers. And so we're adding new songs all the time. Um, okay, so love is at second sight. Yeah, so love is at second sight. But when it's first sight, that's the madness stuff. Love leads to madness. When he says love leads to madness, the name of the song, this song here, Love Leads to Madness. Can that be all right? What a voice, a great voice. Passed away maybe 5 years ago or something. Now his most famous song is "Love Hurts." So he means transference. Love hurts. This love at first sight hurts. Like this song, it's transference loves lead to madness, and so on. Not regular love, like person to person love. The person to person regular love, that's at second sight. When you withdraw the first sight and then get to know them at the second sight, then it kind of begins. But can you make that transition from the first sight to the second sight? Many people get the first sight and they're very stubborn, they're very entranced, they're very fixed, they're spellbound. Love trance, love. Rick Santos, Love Sick. Oh yeah, we also play Love Sick by Rick Santos on this topic of transference love, and we also play the Doobie Brothers' song "What a Fool Believes" on this topic as well. A lot of songs, of course, in this area. Um, so yeah, I normally do like a fuller introduction about the developmental process, Margaret Wallace theory about the 5 stages of development, and then object relations theory about the templates, and then interpersonal leads to the intrapsychic, and then that intrapsychic, we see it in our life. So it's as above, so below, inside out. The outer is a reflection of the inner state. And there's a lot of material in there, and it takes like 2 hours kind of thing. Today, I guess I'm a little lazy today, so I'm just gonna kind of. It's a lighter load today. I just want to do a preview of this quote here by Rosner and Hermes. There, it's a light, fluffy one from a self-help book, but it's kind of clear and articulate. I thought it was refreshing a little bit. And then our main one will be this new phrase. This will be the tougher one called fiery revenge. Ooh, fiery revenge, a form of self-defeating behavior. So, self-defeating behavior. There's numerous theories about why people are afraid of happiness and defeat their self chances for happiness. Self-defeating behavior. Under that general umbrella, one branch of it is what they call fiery revenge. Like you think that you're so angry at somebody, you're willing to, if you think it affects someone else, but at your cost, that's fiery revenge. So, um, just a quick example. In Burglar has the example of a fellow who was drinking all the time, and his mother was nearby, and the mother said, son, it really pains me so much to see you drink. It really hurts me. It pains me. Oh, I don't want to see you drink. Like, oh, really? It hurts you when I drink? He doubled the dose. He drank more to want to hurt her more. Fiery revenge. He was suffering himself, but he wanted the revenge on the mother. If it hurts her, he'll take the pain for himself if it hurts her, even if it's a huge loss for himself. It's fire, it's a real loss, but he wants that little mini psychological benefit of getting back at his mother. So angered his mother like that. Another kind of example was from the Nashville show. A couple broke up. The guy was moping around, upset that the girl dumped him. So he was trying to make her feel guilty or something. And she called it out and said, "Dear ex-boyfriend, please don't try to punish me by punishing yourself," because that's what he was sort of doing. I guess he was trying to get back at her, so he would suffer to make her feel guilty, feel badly, a fire revenge kind of thing. So we'll get into that topic in a few minutes here. Um, yeah, I got a dollar speaker. Sort of got the wires kind of loose. Doesn't really. It's not very reliable. Um, okay, okay. I don't want to freak out the staff here. Okay. um, so let's yeah, okay, let's read the quote here. Um, okay, so the working hypothesis is that there's a difference between uh, love and transference love. Now, this word transference love is also known as things like madly in love, crazy about her, insanely jealous, spellbound, loves, wildly, you're blind and you're in a trance and spellbound, things like that. Now, that part of it, a little bit about that is that originally the baby and the mother relate to each other. Obviously, we all know that. But the point is, the baby remembers it and lays down neurocircuitry by the interaction. Interpersonal leads to interpsychic. Now, there's a problem there, and the baby didn't get his blissful phase with the mother that all babies need for the first 4 to 5 months post-birth. He has it in the uterus usually. Sometimes often he loses it at birth, and he missed that first 4 to 5 months. He's looking for that. You missed it. You're looking for it. So a lot of babies are not getting the blissful oneness with the mother for the first 4 to 5 months. If the cords are moved, like the cord and the placenta are removed, that's the link to the mother, the bridge to the mother. Baby's born, the bridge to the mother's gone, the mother's gone. He's terrified. Pin goes on the collar flat, and now he's stuck. Well, where's the blissful oneness of the mother? Where is it? Where is it? Constant craving, constant yearning. Where is it? Searching, yearning, searching, yearning. So he's like looking for that blissful feeling that's missing. You see, so he had it in the uterus with the mother like that, but he kind of got stunted development, arrested development, developmental arrest, like fixed in thorn, point, pain, stuck, frozen, petrified, turned to stone. So it's all stuck like that, blocked, but the need is still there. The baby still has the need for that blissful oneness of the mother for the first 4 to 5 months. Um, so so that's unresolved, it's unfinished business. There's no time there. He can't develop and have his beingness, his identity. He can't go to the normal developmental path. He'll enter into the famous eternal love triangle later on, as described yesterday in the Star Trek episode. The eternal love triangle. For more on that point, can I refer you to yesterday's video and the one prior to it, where we talked about a Star Trek episode called Requiem for Methuselah, about the eternal love triangle. So I think I covered it fairly clearly at that time. I won't redo it here. Um, okay, where are we here? Okay, so the baby needs a blissful oneness with the mother. He needs an extended paradise. He needs an extended fusion, symbiosis, merging. He needs that a kind of a blissful, they call it the unio mystica or unico mystica or participation mystique. One guy calls it oceanic ecstasy, oceanic feeling, blissful oneness. This kind of blissful kind of feeling um, that we assume the baby has. He's no time, no space, floating around. He's everywhere. He's like a little god, a little king. Apparently, he feels pretty blissed out. So he needs that paradisical kind of feeling, that paradisical emotion, this blissful paradise emotion, not just only in the uterus. He needs an extended uh, time of that for the first 4 to 5 months. Um, and that's because babies come out too early, they say. So the mother has to provide sort of like a land version of that he had in the water world when he goes into the land world, whole new world, but he still needs the blissful egg, the blissful mother infant dual unity, symbiosis, merging, fusion, undifferentiation. There's no differentiation between the baby and the mother. The baby thinks the whole thing's him. Later on, he gets the mother's a person psychologically. He's a person psychologically, but he needs to be loved to hatch out of that fusional egg like that. So he needs that egg. He's looking for the egg, put it that way. He's looking for that fusional psychological egg, that psychological bliss where it's all just him. He doesn't know the mother's separate. He thinks the mother belongs to him. The breast belongs to him. The breast is his possession. It serves him, takes care of him. The breast mother is a symbiotic object for him, a self object for him, meeting his needs like that. So he needs that kind of phase, and it's a blissful feeling to have his needs smoothly, flows, rhythm of safety. He's blissed out all the time, kind of thing. And then at 4 to 5 months, then he can hatch out and begin the differentiation towards the psychological birth. But it's gradual from 4 to 5 months to 18 months. So again, the biological birth is sort of the biological birth is one thing, maybe a minute or something. But for the psychological birth, first he needs a psychological egg called symbiosis for the first 4 to 5 months. Then he hatches out of that egg. Then he begins the gradual process when he hatches out, and it's gradual. It starts at 4 to 5 months and it continues up until roughly 3.5 years of age or something like that. And it goes through these kind of phases like that. The main one, yeah. So let's just focus on the first 4 to 5 months because a lot of this transference, a lot of this crazy love stuff, this that's they're talking about this 4 to 5 months kind of thing. Um, so this madness and love, this is like you're trying to get that symbiosis with somebody in the present. That's not the mother in the past, but but you still have those needs. They were unmet with the past. So you find somebody who reminds you of the mother and hope that it could be the mother in the past. So there's a madness like that. And she might be doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. There's a full edouard madness like this. You shared craziness like this. That's why there's so much madness going on in this song. Um, I don't even know which album that one's on. It might be on an album called 2X or something like that. I forgot the name of the album. And easy to find. Love leads to madness. Easy to find. The singer's Dan McCafferty, right? Um, yeah, yeah, he's a great singer. Yeah, great singer. He has a lot of great songs. My goodness, not just Love Hurts. We do a song called Star of his on our soundtrack. Star, Love Hurts. This one here, and oh geez, a couple of others. Yeah, I haven't played in a while. Um, we do play his cover of Joni Mitchell's "This Flight Tonight." His version, his cover of this, or him and his band's cover of "This Flight Tonight" is great. Most people probably know it. "This Flight Tonight." Joni Mitchell wrote it. It's kind of snoozeville, but when these guys do it, it's kind of it's really it's known for them. I didn't even know what Joni Mitchell wrote. I thought they wrote it. This flight tonight. So this flight tonight, Star, Love Hurts, and Love Leads to Madness are four of their songs on our soundtrack. There are a few. Well, Enough Love, another one. We post also a live version of theirs about a song called Enough Love, another good song, Enough Love, another ballad, Enough Love. Um, yeah, okay. So let's just leave it there for now. Okay, so right, so let's just go with this theory, hypotheses that the baby needs a oneness called an extended Shambhala, Shangri-La, Nirvana, Paradise, blissful oneness, Garden of Eden, whatever you want to call it. He needs that oneness kind of thing. Um, Now, if that was failed and it's frozen, yes, he can still develop in his life in other areas, chronologically, cognitively. So he can drive a car, pay the bills, his body grows up, but his emotional area about his beingness, about his connection to his home within, his feelings within, the needs, where they met or unmet, that whole inner kind of life, that's all frozen. So there's a famous split like that. So your beingness is frozen early on, but the rest of you can kind of develop. So a person can have 10 PhDs and still he can have 10 PhDs in philosophy and psychology or something like that. But if he doesn't do psychoanalysis or any kind of mourning process, he meets a girl that reminds him of his mother. Oh, he's spellbound. He's back to the baby's place. So emotionally, he's still a baby, but he's got 10 PhDs, you know. So there's a huge split like this between the emotional development and the rest of the person's development. You know, it's kind of a and this frozen development is symbolized by the pin in the collar. So, or it's symbolized by Rapunzel in the tower, or Snow White in a coffin in a box, or the beingness maiden king turns to a swan, flies away. Okay, or the golden ball, the feeling part of the beingness, the golden ball goes down the well, or joy and sadness in the Disney film Inside Out, zoop away. So there's a variety of ways. Or Echo turns to stone, statue, stone. So that's very dramatic. It's frozen, like stuck, like stone. Right? That usually takes place. Unfortunately, it takes place for many people around right at birth. Um, it's very hard for a mother to reestablish the blissful oneness. If the cords are removed, the placenta is removed, the hormones go away, baby's put on a scale, wrapped in a towel, handed back. Baby's already frozen by that time. He's already traumatized by that time. And then mother's frustrated. What are the signals? What do you? I don't understand. What do you want, baby? Don't you like me, baby? What's wrong? We're not a match. And she'll make excuses. No, it's because the baby trusted the mother for a continuity of the blissful union, but the mother betrayed the baby. Many mothers, to my horror, are betraying their babies. They don't have that instinct anymore to protect the baby, and so she's got to set it up in advance that the baby's going to be handed to her. Cord stays, placenta stays, baby to the bosom, smell stays, the room is warm. Okay, candles, lights, heat lamp, whatever. Keep the conditions. Just allow the flow continue, baby to the delivery. And she's got to set it up in advance that she's got to maximize the chances of a smooth delivery. So lots of things she can do like that. The position, tilting the tailbone, maybe the crouching position. What do you call it again? Like squatting position, or because the squatting she said was it allows her to tilt the tailbone back to allow the maximum space, pelvic space, the maximum pelvic space combined with the contractions, pelvic space, open, little gravity, the three together and synced up, the baby do a smooth like that. But if the mother cannot tilt the tailbone back because she's on a table or something, and sometimes they even lift the legs, don't they? The stirrups or something. Jesus Christ! So how can the mother tilt back the tailbone so the baby's hitting on the tailbone? Sometimes I don't know. I'm not a doctor, a disclaimer, but and if there is problems with the baby coming out, um, and then the baby's in pain, the mother's in pain, Jesus Christ. Then she clenches up. The big contractions go on. The baby's in a life and death struggle, struggling in the canal like this. Yikes, mother's in pain by this. Baby's terrorized like this. Oh my God. And if the mother takes anesthesia, it goes to the baby. He numbs out already. He might shut down, so to speak, in the parasympathetic mode, or he might be too revved up with PTSD. Some babies are born with PTSD already. So there's like birth trauma going on. Now, if the cord stays and the placenta stays, mother can heal it. But if there is any kind of distress like that in the birthing, or prenatal distress, or a hard time at the birthing. And then you remove the cord and the placenta, take them away. Okay, that's way too much. That's way too much. Babies, he's so betrayed by this. Mother, you betrayed me. I expected you to be there for me, and you abandoned me. Baby felt totally abandoned, like just abandoned, like dumped. I came out dumped. Where's mother? Holy, right? So I got a little emotional about it the other day, suggesting that ideally yeah, I've done a few versions of this. So maybe the father can protect this and make sure that he makes sure the baby's handed over. Gynecologist is gonna, I got to do my job here. I got to weigh the baby. He's gonna make some excuses in the name of pillage and plunder. We gotta um, traumatize your baby, so he'll be a flying monkey for the plundering system. He won't feel it. Stop this stuff, because this gynecologist doesn't remember that that's what happened to him. So he's traumatizing um, all these babies because he doesn't remember that he was traumatized. He's trying to remember that he was traumatized. But if he doesn't remember that he was traumatized, he's going to continue to traumatize all these babies. So someone's got to intervene. So maybe the father can intervene. Look, buddy, no, I'll take it from here. We'll hand the baby to the mother. Thanks very much. Have a good day, whatever. Thanks very much. Just leave it, let the father protect and make sure the cord stays, the placenta stays. Now, if the father's out of it or not around or something, um, I had the fantasy that maybe in advance, the mother can train a Doberman pinscher and bring the dog into the delivery room and train the dog. Look, dog, if this guy here is going to reach for um, some utensil to separate and sever the cord from the baby, you charge at him, you bark at him and prevent it. Protect the baby. Be the guardian. Be the power, spiritual animal guardian, power animal protector. Protect the baby. The dog will charge at the guy, right? So he has no choice. He can't complain anymore. He can just say, "Oh, sorry, supervisor. The dog stopped me." Oh, why'd you let a dog in there? I'm just trying to highlight the importance of preserving the continuity that the baby needs, a continuity, the blissful phase. If that's severed, very often the mother cannot reestablish it. Sometimes they can, but many times they can't. If they can't, frozen, pin goes in the collar, numb, okay, beingness, okay, symbolized by a princess in a coma in a box, morphs to a bird, flies away, up a tunnel, down a cavern where the light is never shown. Um, so there's different ways to describe the loss of the beingness, the soul, basically, right? So the soul flies away, you want to get it back. Okay, so the baby had a soul. Okay, the doctor traumatized it. The soul flew away. So midlife, we want to get it back. That's what this is about, trying to get back the beingness. When we say soul in psychology, we simply mean the sense of feeling embodied. The emotional body is alive. Your feeling self, your ontological self. Okay, um, so the phrase maiden king in the fairy tale maiden king. Oh yeah, so this beingness can be civilized with all these princesses, right? So the princess is a symbol, personification of the beingness. So symbols are not real, of course, but we see them to point to something which we don't see but is real. So you create a symbol or metaphor, simile, analogy. You create something like artistic or something that's a symbol. It's not real, but it points to, refers to something inside, invisible, that is real. It is real that the person feels comfortable within, and there's a hum like that, and there's a warm feeling called the golden ball, the radiance of the golden ball. Okay, joy is there. So you feel joy, you can feel sadness. Those are real things, right? Those kind of primary basic feelings. Joy runs the console. That's a real feeling. Um, okay, so this the totality of our beingness, that major part of us called the authentic self or the real self, the beingness, feeling self, like that, etc. Psychological self, maybe. Um, Emotional body, let's say. So you create a symbol, princess. Okay, so but look at the princess. Look what happened to her. She's in a coma. Snow White. She's locked in a tower. Iron John in a golden ball in a cage. Okay, and Miss Cora in the field gets pulled down into the underworld, and that's okay. And Solvik is like a ghost or something, just flying around or something. So the image is in the Maiden King story. The pin goes on a collar. Okay, the princess, the Maiden King, morphs into a swan and flies away. Now, if the feeling self is gone away, then the feelings are flat, they say, flat affect. So the jargon is athimoalexia. Athimoalexia. No feelings for your words. So you have the words, the cognitive development, but no feelings. There's the split. Remember the split? You don't have the feelings because frozen early on. It's supposed to match up with your words. Now, your words, you may think your words fulfill your pride feelings, your survival anxiety feelings, or your neurotic pride feelings, your false pride feelings. Those are like sham feelings. So you think a lot of pride like that with those words. But we're talking, so there's the discernment between real feelings and the sham feelings. Um, so no feelings for your words. The feelings are gone, but you have these words. There's a split in your development. 73, a guy very determined, call it alexithymia. No words for your feelings. You can't find the words for your feelings. What words do we have for those feelings that we're not aware of, that are frozen, numb, petrified, just whatever? We can't find the words for it. We don't have vocabulary for it because we're out of touch with it. Um, so that's sort of the issue, right? We had a beingness, we lost it, want to get it back. We had a beingness, embodiment, okay, it went away, want to get it back. Um, Now, it went away because the needs were not met. So what's the first need? Assuming there's paradise in uterus, no prenatal trauma, no prenatal distress syndrome, mother's not taking pills or smoking, drinking while pregnant. Assuming he had his paradise, he was happy in the uterus, that the uterus was a friendly place. So you might generally say the universe is a friendly place, let's say. And then let's say he does have a Klaus and Kennel birth, okay, Laboyer birth, gentle birth, okay, lotus birth. Let's say he does have some kind of good enough birth, let's say. And if there are little problems, it's okay. As long as the cord, the placenta stay, hand it to the mother. And then for the first 4 to 5 months, the baby retains and maintains and stays the continuous ongoing paradise. He needs an ongoing paradise, an ongoing blissful oneness with the mother. So that's good. You preserve that. The mother did her job. She didn't betray the baby. She sent in the Doberman Pinscher to protect, to make sure that the cord wasn't taken away, um, or set it up in advance that would happen. Disclaimer, disclaimer, times 1,000. I'm not a doctor, a gynecologist, midwife, doula, nutritionist, a shrink, cultural anthropologist, chemist. I only have a BA. I'm the compiler of the quotes. I'm the guy who's finding these very clear, interesting quotes with the hope that 1 out of 10 will be upheld. 1 out of 10. So they're clear. You know, they're like um, they come from authors who write clearly. You know, like Ann Teachworth. Recently, we did a 3-video special run from a self-help book entitled "Why We Pick the Mates We Do," about the imprint. Right? Um, you grow up and choose a partner the way how one of your parents chose, and find the other one to play that other role. So you're back in the you just recreating the present, the past. So transfer the past to the present called the presenting past, and the present still the past. You play one parent basically and find someone else to play the other parent. You don't choose who you want. You're just in this compulsion to recreate the past because when there's pain, unfinished business, you're still stuck there. Remember the timelessness like that. So we talk about the couple imprint, and then how do we get out of it with the 3-chair exercise. Alan Golem, very clear author. We did 2 books. We discussed 2 of her books called Unloved Again and Trapped in the Mirror, 2901 to 14, 14 video special, one of those 2 books. Janoff, Arthur Janoff, 26 videos on his work. Very clear writer, Arthur Janoff. Forget about the first book that made him very famous. Forget about that one. It's all of the books after that, the 16 books post that. He updated and refined it. It's funny about him. He's famous for the first one, but that's the mess. But he got wildly famous for it, disappointed, and everybody ignored him. Meanwhile, all these 16 books came on the scene, everybody ignored. So we got the best quotes from Janoff, including his his major one, Primal Healing. But the final one's very interesting, called Beyond Belief. So we discussed that. And Masterson, and clear writer, and Karen Horney is one of our mentors. Edmund Berger, a major contributor. Edmund Berger, and got people like Guntrip and Gottstein and Ogden and Rinsley. These are clear kind of analytic kind of writers like that. And maybe roughly 15%, I'm guessing it's around 15% of the quotes come from self-help authors, like the one I'm going to read now as a preview to 2952. This is from a self-help book about self-defeating, why we engage in self-defeating behavior. I just quickly found it just on the way out. Didn't get a chance to really look into it, and I just randomly opened it, start skimming. Oh my God, that's not a bad quote. Let's run with this one. So I found it a little clear and refreshing. So this is the kind of quotes I'm talking about. Um, so this is from a self-help author. So roughly 50% of the quotes come from self-help authors, and the 80 plus quotes, 80% of the quotes come from shrinks, medical doctors who specialize in the talking cure. So these are soul doctors, medical doctors who got tired of playing whack-a-mole with people's symptoms and decided that these symptoms were emotional communications. Emotional communication. So let's talk about it. It's communicating. Let's put words to it. The symptom goes away. Don't play whack-a-mole with it all the time. So they felt badly doing that. So they went to the talking um, the talking cure school called the Shrink Institute or the Analytic Institute, and learned about dream interpretation, free association, and how to deal with and how to notice that due to the repetition compulsion, they're going to recreate in the container of the transference between the two of them. And now you're going to know and try to feel what you couldn't have felt because you're going to repeat it. Try to feel it. Once you feel it, you mourn it. If you can mourn it, you can stop repeating. So you can do it in that kind of like little mini thing between the two of them. They say, it's going to come up again. It's always coming up. It's always coming up. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So he's there to witness it, put words to it, put words to it. Um, just one second. Yeah, okay. So doing okay. All right. I had to wait for this area to be available. It was parked already. The other venues are booked and things. Yesterday was done at the Swan Place. My spot was taken. There was a smooching couple in my. There was a young couple in my spot. I couldn't. So I found another spot. It turned out to be more or less okay. Yeah, yesterday was okay. Yesterday was okay. It's a two-parter, about a 4-hour video in the outdoor venue with the swans. So you'll see the swans, yeah, in the last place. Yeah. Okay, let's just go back to this basic theory here that the baby needs a blissful oneness with the mother. The mother functions as a symbiotic object for the baby, a self object for the baby, meaning the mother is there to meet the baby's needs. It's just one way like that. It's all for the baby. He is the king. He is the God. He is entitled. He is the center. He is center stage. He is entitled. It is all about him. It is all about him. It's meant to be all about him. He needs that phase. He needs that time where it is all about him. And all the mother does is meet the baby's needs. So she picks up the signals, understands it, and responds accordingly. So she's attuned. She picks up the signals, she gets it, response. Baby felt, oh, mother understood me. She saw me. She recognized me. She met my needs. Oh, wow. That wiring gets in. He can do it himself now. How the mother treats him, he's going to wire it in. It's part of him, then he treats himself that way. If the mother soothes him when he's distressed, he then has the wiring set in. He can soothe himself, kind of thing. If the mother sees him, he can see himself. If the mother's present to him, he'll be present to himself. He'll feel his presence to himself. Okay. Mother sees, hears, feels him. Likewise, how the mother treats the baby, he'll treat himself. The main one is like the recognition, understanding what's going on with the baby. Mother mentalizes, thinks about it. Oh, what's going on with the baby? Oh, I get it. Okay, makes the response. So later on, he does that kind of thing to himself. He's kind of so-called mentalizing or so-called theory of mind or some kind of psychological mind that I don't know how you call it. I call it mother's reverie, mother's consideration. And so a simple example is the baby's uncomfortable or some baby's a little moving around uncomfortable. Mother goes, oh, hey, baby's uncomfortable here. Let me investigate here. Oh, I see. Um, um, I'm not holding him in a smooth way or something. Maybe he's uncomfortable. Oh, I get it. Let me make a little adjustment here. Move the pillow or something. Oh, okay. And the baby calms down. So the baby remembers that experience that someone was there thinking about his feelings, responded, and it worked. Now he has that confidence and that attitude that he can do it himself like that. So that's called mother's reverie and consideration and recognition and empathy, basic empathy. If the mother's empathy for the baby, he'll have empathy for himself. Okay. If the mother gaslights the baby and double binds the baby, he'll be in a mess like that. So that's part of the bliss. That's part of the paradise that the mother's doing these kind of things in the first 4 to 5 months. Okay. So skin to skin contact. Okay. So the somatic feelings, memories, body, okay, baby to mother, body to body, and the skin functions kind of like a bridge, they say, between the two bodies and emotions between the two bodies. And the bridge is the skin between the two. So you have the emotions in the bot, and the baby going to, mother picks it up because skin to skin. Now, if there's like towel there, mother might not pick it up, kind of thing. So it's meant to be skin to skin for 4 to 5 months. Leave the smells, leave the hormones. Um, you know, um, don't be too much soap or something like that. Just reasonable. Be reasonable about that. And then that's part one. Part two is the natural feeding. The nerves in the child while he's suckling fizzle in, line up with the nerves, nipple, breast, mother to the mother. So now there's like a cable there, and they call it a trainment or attunement. So the message is um, the mother can pick up the signals from the baby while he's suckling. So the mother will know if it's smooth, if he's comfortable. She'll pick up the signals and make the little micro adjustments or something. It's meant to be like smooth, like a rhythm of safety, a flowing, a flow. It's musical even. Placenta is continuation of the uterus. Baby, core, placenta, mother, mother, placenta, core, baby, baby, core, placenta, mother, mother, do, re, mi, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It's meant to flow continuously. Baby, nerves, mother, mother, nerves, baby, baby, nerves, mother, mother, nerves, baby, do, re, mi. It's meant to be like a smooth kind of flow. It's supposed to be like that. So it's considered. Grassy thinks the first mother's music because before the baby feels the mother, um, he might hear that. So the first mother's music um, in the uterus. If the baby thinks everything's him, or what's not him, or what he hears, so the vibrations and all that between um, the heartbeat, okay, the pulsing of the cord, and the three blood flow veins, to one straight down, two spiraling up, has like a little, it corresponds to the notes on the musical scale. So you got the melody of the blood flow, you got the bass line of the pulsating of the cord, and you got the drum beat from the heartbeat. So baby thinks everything's him, but wait a minute, I hear all this stuff. Hey, is that mother? Is that mother? My first mother's music? That's Grassie's theory. The first mother's music. In the beginning was the sound. In the beginning was the sound. The sound was music. The musical mother. The first mother is the musical mother. In the beginning was the sound. Now, if it's prenatal distress syndrome and it's gone, and the mother's drinking and all that, baby's distressed, then the anger he feels with the mother drinking or going to rock concerts, or baby's kicking around and he twists the cord around him, not getting enough oxygen. He's terrified. His anger now. Well, how do you, then maybe the first mother is a sea monster. He senses the placenta, cord, three veins, and thinks there's a sea monster there. So the uterus is not a friendly place if his mother's a sea monster trying to eat him. I mean, he wants to receive and he's angry. Well, the sea monster is angry and wants to take him in, kind of thing. So that's why in the Odyssey you have this the fight with the sea monster in the Odyssey. And the rock on the hard place is sort of um, that canal, that birthing time, this struggle. If he stays in the canal, that's a swirl. He's going to swirl and be a goner. But if the mother clenches and he's crashing on the cliffs, then he might be really damaged like that. So he's supposed to navigate in the birthing. It's supposed to be gentle navigating between not staying in, not crashing out, just a very fine little delivery, smooth delivery. That's what he kind of wants. That's one theory by Francis Mott. For more information about that kind of thing, Francis Mott has it. His book's called. Yeah, he's got a few books on it. I think the main one is the design one, Universal Design or something. He takes all he takes a lot of myths. He takes mythology and thinks it's all or mostly related to this whole prenatal life, the prenatal life of the infant, knowledge of the womb life, knowledge of the womb life. So the first music. Okay, so the baby. Where are we here? Oh yeah, so the part of the paradise the baby needs, it's not just food that he's going to survive. Like he needs an emotional feeding. Mother's reverie, consideration, positive regard, her delight, her acceptance. Mother accepts him, he feels it, accepts himself. Mother delights in his presence, he delights in himself. This basic self-esteem comes from this attitude like that. How the mother thinks about him, he'll kind of pick up on that for himself. Thanks for thinking well of me, Mom. I'll take it from here. I'll think well of myself. So how she treats him, he's going to wire it in. That's how he treats himself, basically. That's a theory about the first 4 to 5 months. If the baby's laying down neural circuitry according by the relationship, then it's set in, picks up on it for himself like that. So that's part of the paradise, that he's receiving this kind of emotional learning, emotional feeding, emotional wiring, positive wiring that he can pick up on himself, and it's continuous. And then it's a positive relationship to himself. So he'll have a positive relationship to himself as he grows. If it's a painful relationship with the mother, he's always repeating his painful relationship with himself while he's still physically developed. He still can drive a car, get 10 PhDs, but he's always got negative attitude towards himself. He thinks badly, thinks he's no good. Mother's a monster. Mother's dangerous. He's no good. Thinks everyone's no good and dangerous. He has these perverse, disturbed projection issues where he thinks he's bad. Well, others are bad. Mother's bad. Well, others are bad. And he has this tendency to overly project because too much pain, you can't know it. So one way to not know what's going on within is to project it, to say others have it. But in the film Forbidden Planet, they're saying, let's do a science fiction thing. Let's teach people that when people think, oh, there's a beast like that, no, that's so they created a science fiction thing where some alien advanced, super alien advanced, created some planet machine that materialized your thoughts. So if a person had an unconscious thought of anger, there'd be like a monster character. But they would say it came from the id, the unconscious, monsters of the id, monsters of the id, they say, id monsters. Okay, meaning how you felt in your unconscious. They would materialize it. And in the film, you'd see the footprints. And at one point, you saw a sketch of it. It looked like the Tasmanian devil, actually. I thought it was. Because apparently, so very good. So we discussed the Forbidden Planet recently. That's a very good discussion, I thought, past several videos. Okay, they wanted to teach you that all of these monsters and frightening things, okay, um, they're projections, um, and they want to show you that they're projections. So they would materialize with the sci-fi format to tell you that it's within. Now, if you don't know that it's within, then you say these beasts and monsters, whatever. Oh, they're external things coming. You're projecting it onto others. No, it's within. You got to tie the link to within. Joni Mitchell, back to Joni Mitchell, she said when she's writing, I got to face the beast within. There's no beast outside of, it's like an emotional thing. So these emotions were materialized into monsters. So, for example, Morbius was upset that some playboy messed with his daughter like that. So he was kind of really, he was polite about it. He wasn't consciously angry, but he was really unconsciously angry. So the machine planet that he was linked to, i.e., his unconscious, the planet was his unconscious. That unconscious materialized this monster to attack the playboy. Right? Um, and he didn't know. He didn't know it. That's the point. That's the lesson of the film. That if you got a machine that's going to materialize your conscious thoughts, okay, then why wouldn't why wouldn't the machine materialize your unconscious thoughts? So that was kind of like the point, like that. So they were trying to make this kind of point. And the way they did it was they borrowed the idea that children think that they make things, magical thinking. So if the child thinks, um, in, you know, if the 3-day-old baby or something thinks, "Hey, I'm hungry. I want food," and then mother picks up the signal. Oh, here you go. Oh, the baby thinks he materialized it. He made the milk. Poof, he magically poofed it. He created it. His thought, his wish, poofed. He made it, materialized it. So the baby says, I want milk. There's the milk. He thinks he made it. That's the theory. So they showed you that Morbius could do that kind of thing with the advanced machine as a tip off to this point. But the point of the film was, well, everybody's forgetting about the unconscious wishes. The unconscious wishes, like the conscious wishes, like the baby's wishes, like that. Um, the Krell people who invented this advanced alien machine planet, they were millions of years ahead of humans. So they knew how to master physics and quantum physics. They knew how to master matter and particles and waves, and they knew all this stuff. So they actually could think something. Oh, there it is. So they had fun doing this or something. Their mistake was um, they forgot or didn't know that they had an unconscious, and that machine was producing monsters, and they were goners from that because so they hurt themselves because they didn't make the link that there is such a thing as an unconscious. So Morbius was sort of um, um, a little bit like that because he had the conscious idea about it, but he didn't know that his unconscious would create monsters to attack the Playboy guy. And the other visitors came; they were interrupting his life, so they would attack them. He didn't know that these Tasmanian devil monsters were creations from his unconscious fantasies, which the machine produced. He didn't know that. You see, so. Um, And then in the follow up, the Star Trek episode, Requiem for Methuselah, similar kind of thing. Kirk was trying to steal a man's woman, and then the robot attacked Kirk, kind of thing. It was the same. But the guy didn't know that the robot was acting to his unconscious. So they did like a tip off to that kind of thing. But okay, there's more. There's way more. There's like a 4-hour discussion about those two, Forbidden Planet and the Star Trek episode, the 1966 episode from the first original series was Spock. Spock plays the piano. That's the one that Spock plays. He plays the Requiem for humanity's suffering for 6,000 years. We've been traumatized, suffering. We're homo traumicus. Okay, we're a traumatized version of ourselves. So Requiem for our 6,000 years of suffering. Spock was playing the music for that, I think. Those two, they're a good team. Those two, Forbidden Planet and that episode, Star Trek episode. Okay, let's go back to the baby here. So let's say he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't get a chance. Let's say the mother's not around. Let's say the mother's doesn't understand the signals. Let's say the mother resents the idea that she's supposed to meet the baby's needs when she herself never got her needs met. She's angry about this. What? I'm supposed to meet my baby's needs? I never got my needs met. She's thinking maybe she's angry. No, I'm not going to do it. I protest. I can't forgive my mother for that. I'm gonna show the world what my mother did to me. She thinks. See this baby here? I'm going to show you what you did to me. I'm going to let the baby be me. I'll play the shaming mother. Mother deprive me, I'll deprive my baby. Okay. Mother use me, I'll use the baby. Mother expected too much from me, I'll expect too much from my baby. See, world, where did I learn this from, world? Come on, where's the justice here? So she's in protest. She's angry like this. Okay. Now, sometimes she shames the baby to remember that she had been shamed. Or sometimes, baby's upset. Um, the mother thinks that the baby doesn't like her because she transfers her mother to the baby. And when the mother was a baby and believed that her mother didn't like her, okay, she transferred that mother onto her own baby and thinks her baby doesn't like her. The poor baby can't say, "Hold the phone, mother. I'm not your mother here. What are you doing? Why do you think I don't like you?" Okay, fine. You thought your mother didn't like you. That's between you and her. But what about me? I'm not my grandmother here. I'm upset because you're not meeting my needs. Doesn't mean I don't like you. It's because I'm in pain here, and you're ignoring me. I'm in more pain, and you're gaslighting me, so I'm in pain. Doesn't mean I don't like you. What the hell, mother? So he's not getting. So if the baby's not, this is called attachment trauma, relational trauma, interpersonal trauma. We mentioned betrayal trauma and birth trauma. Okay, so this is a trauma here like this. Typically, there's a birth trauma, and then layered on top of the birth trauma, the shock birth trauma, lost the mother, shock, is the relational issue where the mother's constantly um, misattuned and malattuned, doesn't understand the signals. Either the mother shaming the baby because she's trying to remember that she had been shamed, or she's just repeating her need to cry for love and shame herself the way the mother shamed her because she's become the shaming mother in the thing called the Faustian deal, the Faustian pact, the Faustian bargain, known as identification with the aggressor. And due to repetition compulsion, she's got to cry for love, but she'll shame herself, so she'll get the baby to play her whom she's going to shame. Okay, for that topic, in the last video, the Swan Place about the Faustian bargain, about identification with aggressor. We did some good quotes there about that. So the mother might be just engaged in re-crying for love, but she doesn't want to cry for love anymore because she's the mother that says no to herself. That's too much painful to always say no to herself. So she gets the baby as a proxy for says no to the baby because the baby's her crying for love. She's the mother that says no to her. So she just um, since she thinks the baby's her and she's the mother, okay, the mother shames her, the baby's her, so she shames the baby, thinking the baby's her, and she's the shaming mother. At the same time, on another level, as she's shaming her own baby, since she is angry at her mother for this, how does she express her anger at her mother if she is the angry mother? Hocus pocus, magical thinking. On another level, flip flop, Alice in Wonderland, primary orientation, myth and fairy tale, things can flip flop and twist and upside down. Things can morph and shape shift and all that. As she's shaming the baby, she thinks, and the baby's her, right? And she's the shaming mother. As she's shaming the baby, she thinks the baby is her mother hurting her, and now she's going to be angry at the one she just shamed. So very traumatized people hate the ones they hurt. So this traumatized mother is actually going to hurt her baby, then hate the baby she hurt because she flipped it. First the baby was hurt, then the baby flipped. It's the mother. You see. So the mother flips as well. She's the shaming mother, then she plays herself angry at her mother, and the baby's playing the role of the angry mother. What's the poor baby going to do with all this stuff? Or the mother says, "Baby, you got to take care of me. You give me narcissistic supply. I didn't get my needs met with my mother, so baby, you do that." Okay, mother, I'll try my best. It's going to fail, of course. Um, Mother will punish him for failing. He thinks he committed a crime here, but the baby ends up feeling so guilty like this. So, what's the baby going to do with with this relational trauma later on top of the birth trauma? He's not getting his blissful feelings met. He's not getting them, so it's frozen there. Okay, so now let's say, so now this is unresolved, unfinished. So when there's trauma, we live with the unconscious hope for the fulfillment of old unfulfilled needs. So let's say this person grows up. They're going to scan the environment and look for someone with the same psychology like their mother. Let's say they find someone like that. That person in the present has like a triggering effect on the person, or a symbolizing, catalyzing, symbolizing, triggering effect, where the wiring with the mother is flared up, and embedded in the wiring is the blissfulness. There was a blissfulness before he was hurt, so embedded in the wiring is the blissfulness, but it's frozen. The blissfulness is frozen. He needs more blissfulness. The blissfulness is frozen. He needs more blissfulness. So when he finds a copy of the mother, he thinks, okay, she's there now. Okay, it's going to continue. Wow, that blissful feeling. You transfer that blissful feeling from the past in the wiring that you forgot. You transfer that feeling to the person in the present. That's called transference love. So you see the person in the present. Oh, you're the one. Love at first sight. Just one look. That's all it took. Oh, just one look. Just one look. In the Star Trek, Kirk saw the beautiful girl. Just one look. Oh, he was spellbound. He wanted her instantly. Just one look. There's my mother. There's the same idea. Eternal love triangle. Still okay. All right. Luckily, the timing works out. I can come like in the late afternoon, between the lunch and the dinner things. So this is a good timing actually. Okay. Yeah. Where are we here? Okay. So the person in the present is seen as an emotional reincarnation of your mother in the past. So you don't know that person in the present because you cloud over, okay, the image of your mother in your unconscious onto them. Yes, materially, you say the person in the present is a person in the present, but you're relating to that person with the emotionality and desire and unmet needs of the past, which you transfer. That's called transference love. So you don't see the person in the present. You just see all your old unmet needs. You see yourself and your mother. That wiring, it's all that is all put there. So the present is called the presenting past, or you transfer the past to the present due to this issue of repetition compulsion, where we repeat to get out of the pain, to get a new outcome. We transfer that wiring to the present and recreate that repetition compulsion, that same old wiring, hoping for a better past. So you can play yourself, and hope that the partner is the mother. You're the first, you're my last, you're my everything, play Barry White. I love you, you're perfect now, please change. Please invent the time machine, take me back to the nursery and get it right for me this time. Please do that. No, they can't. Oh, then you're angry. Oh my God, you betrayed me. You're a heartbreaker. You deceived me. You're a liar. You're a deceiver. I thought you were the one. You misled me. You misled me. No, no. All that anger and complaint that you have to the person in the present, they didn't cause that kind of harm. Nonsense. It's minimal. So what? You don't even see them. So why are you angry at them? They just why blaming them because they remind you of your mother. So, but you chose that to know how you felt with the mother. You were looking for that. You were looking for somebody who reminds you of the mother. Don't blame them just because they remind you of your mother. You were looking for that to know how you felt with the mother. So now you pull back your anger to the person present and put it to where it belongs. So when you say, "Oh, you're a heartbreaker, you're a deceiver," etc., and so on and so forth, okay, that's how you felt with the mother. Now you're getting your story. Now you know the pain you felt with your mother because you recreated the present. You're trying to remember. You don't remember, so you repeat in an attempt to remember. So when you can remember, you can stop repeating finally. So that's what this transference love is about. So somebody in the present reminds you of the mother. It flares up that wiring of the blissfulness. So it's kind of like it's unfrozen, let's say, or whatever, or the pin is lifted. It's activated. Somehow it's flared up. Now you feel the blissful feeling that you felt with the mother before it froze. Now it's come up again. It's like loosened up or something. I don't know. It's activated, stimulated up or something. Because you think you're there, and mother's there now. Like you think you found your mother again. Like you as a baby. Oh, there's mother again. Mother hurt me. I'm waiting. Oh, there she is. Now this time, I've been waiting and waiting. Now it'll get it right. Now I'm finally going to get those needs met with her. But who are you talking about? The person in the present isn't the mother in the past. So you have this huge expectation that the person in the present can make up for that missing wiring. No, that wiring is laid down at a very tender, sensitive, critical time in the from birth to 4, let's say. Those are set in. Those are kind of seared in, kind of thing. Nobody in the present can like change that, so to speak. It's pretty set in like that. It's past that critical time. It's a one-way ticket. Once they're set in, they're kind of set in. The only thing you can do to update this traumatic wiring is what's called mourning. Get your story, resolve oppositional thinking, find the both and, admit that your mother didn't love you, admit that she betrayed you, admit that she failed you, admit the painful truth that she didn't love you because she couldn't, because she was impaired, because she didn't have her beingness, because she was repeating, she was in pain, she was crying for love, she didn't have the presence to love the baby, so she couldn't love. And if you can admit that, and you can like hold that, both your feelings and your beingness will come to you, called the phoenix, and the firebird rises up and you get your feelings back. Pin pops out, your feelings come back. So it's all about mourning. Mourning is about healing. Mourning is about growing up. Mourning is about maturity and healing and fixing yourself. It's all about mourning. So you need a beingness to mourn. So they're kind of simultaneous. I feel that for him. So they're kind of simultaneous. As you're feeling the sadness of mother not loving you, your beingness will come. Or as you get your beingness, it helps you to feel the sadness about it, to admit the reality that mother didn't love you. And you need a beingness for that. You need a beingness for that. But if you can feel the sadness, your beingness will come in. It's kind of simultaneous. So the beingness and the feeling will come with it at the same time. In the meantime, if you're not aware of this, what happened here? Hold on a second. Let's play the song again. Let me. The speaker keeps shutting out automatically. There it is. Let's take a little break here. Do I feel alright? I'm moving away. You say you wanna take me. Save me. Run away, steal away, 'cause I feel alright. I'm doing the thing. Say you wanna
Leaving up all night, trying to avoid a situation. Oh, let me feel your way, 'cause I wanna stay. Let them all start talking, we won't give ourselves away. Our love is to my happiness. Our love is to my happiness.
At least he's admitting it, right? At least he's admitting it. Hey, why is our love so mad? Why are we? Why is this so crazy making this love? I thought love's supposed to be peaceful and happy like that. Why are we so um, crazy like this? Let's read the quote. Okay, so these terms, phrases like madly in love, crazy about her, insanely jealous, etc. These phrases indicate maybe some kind of recognition that there's some kind of lapse in judgment here, um, or common sense, um, or some kind of state of mind out of the ordinary, a kind of madness. Certainly, no one who, quote, falls in love stands back, at least for a time, to examine it, to ask what it is. Oh no, when you're in trance, you don't analyze it, right? You're just like, whoa. When you're spellbound, whoa. See that spellbound stuff. That's the blissful oneness of the mother. You brought up the emotionality and chemistry of the blissful oneness to the present. So you associate the present to the past that links to those feelings. The feelings are linked to that neurocircuitry. That person triggers up the neurocircuitry. So you're feeling that blissful oneness feeling. So you transfer that bliss. So the baby's like a stunned bliss. Wow. Okay, so that you transfer that, you feel that now, and you you transfer that blissful wow to the person or present because they triggered it. That's called transference love. You're transferring the mother to the partner. The partner's not the mother, but you transfer the mother to the partner. So you associate the wiring to the person present. But the person present isn't the mother. That's why it's mad. You don't even see that person. Love at first sight. Come on. They just triggered the flaring of the blissful thing. So now you're madly in love like this, the spellbound. He saw Kirk in the thing. He saw the beautiful, the robot, the Methuselah was trying to create a perfect woman, like a mother. He never had a mother, right? So he was trying to create a perfect robot woman, mother, woman, perfect woman. So for a moment, the idea is that, oh, there's the perfect woman or something. So Kirk sees, oh, there's mother, spellbound. He was spellbound. And the two guys are fighting for the robot. Robot freaked out and collapsed. The eternal love triangle. It might have been a tip off. The baby said, "Hey, father, get out of the way. I want mother," or something. It's not. It's not that. It's not really that. The triangle is that the baby's supposed to be to get their needs with the mother, and then they can leave the mother and then connect with the father in a about learning about the world kind of thing. Not to use the father as to do what the mother should have done. If that's the mess of the eternal triangle. If the baby to get his needs met with the mother, they might transfer that mess with her to the father, and the mess continues. And there's the eternal love triangle. What's going on here? And then you transfer this mess throughout your life like that. It's unresolved. So it's meant to be the baby does get his needs with the mother. He hatches out of the egg, and it can relate to the father in terms of learning about the world. And the father doesn't do the symbiosis. The symbiosis is only with the mother. The father cannot do symbiosis. There's the madness if if the child manages to um, do this fully dwell, thinking the father's the mother. This is madness, right? So it's supposed to be this triangle. It's supposed to be a healthy transition from mother to father, father to mentor. Okay, then you're independent. Then you can relate to people. Then you get married, people to people, person to person. Fountain of love, mutual sharing, growing creativity, growing. You're not still transferring that problem with the mother way into midlife kind of thing. Still at midlife looking for the blissful oneness kind of thing. There's your madness, right? Again, so these phrases, okay, kind of indicate that there's a lapse in judgment or common sense, some kind of state of mind out of the ordinary, a kind of madness. And certainly no one who quote unquote falls in love, stands back, you know, examines it, what's going on. You're just too stunned, right? You're just in this blissful honeymoon, Google eye, woo, you're just floating. So play the music video called Love How You Love Me by the singer Melanie Thornton. Very good singer, Melanie Thornton. Melanie Thornton's song, her first big hit as a soloist, actually. Love How You Love Me. Look at the music video for that song, Love How You Love Me by Melanie Thornton. Okay, so you see strangers on the street like that. But it turns out a fellow sees a girl who reminds him of the mother, let's say. Okay, she sees him and she's reminded of her mother. Spellbound, spellbound. They drop their bags, they hold hands, and they float up in the air. They're floating, blissful feeling. You think they're going to analyze? What is this? Of course, it's going to crash, right? Okay, so if we call this love, well, hang on, hold the phone here. That's not love at all. That's not love at all. That's transference love, infatuation, puppy love, etc. Infantile love, whatever you want to call it. So now many of these kinds of relationships, these transference love things, which can lead to marriages, obviously, is almost always made with an unconscious expectation that one partner will fill the other partner's unmet needs and even provide a sense of wholeness. It is a kind of unwritten contract present in almost all marriages. This perception or motive is rarely made explicit because the individual is rarely aware of it. Instead, he or she is aware only of loving this other person. So what's wrong with that? Well, so what's wrong here? Somebody says. No, it's okay to have your needs met. What's the problem here? Okay. Yes, in any marriage or partnership, we seek to have our needs fulfilled and to fill, where possible, the needs of our partner. Yeah, okay, generally speaking, you're right. But if the perceptions and expectations, if the perceptions and expectations are realistic, the marriage can develop and thrive because we are clear in what we want and how we hope to get it. But those are not the marriages of which I speak here. The failure in many marriages, shown by the appalling divorce rate, is not that conscious, wholesome need or desire we're talking about. So in a healthy relationship, they might say, can you help me out with this? And I'll help you out with this. And it's a mutual growing. They have Freud and Freude. They take delight in the happiness of their partner. And it's both. It's called Freud and Freude. I'm happy at your growth and new expression of yourself. I'm happy that you're happy to express yourself. And we help each other like that. So they're both becoming happier and happier because they're both in this mutual positive loop like that. That's the normal kind of loving kind of relationship. So if you say, well, that's my needs like that, okay, well, that's fine. But most of the time, it's different kind of needs. The needs they're talking about, no, you gotta read my mind and meet my needs before I even know what it is. You gotta be that symbolic breast where I missed the chance where mother would understand me, meet my needs. I'm like a baby now. I don't know what I want. I want you to know what I want and meet my needs, like the baby. That's unrealistic. No person in the present can be the breast mother for the past. That's what they're talking about here. One second. Okay, here we are. Okay, so it is these couples who are doomed to become yet another divorce statistic. Is it really possible that one can be so unaware of one's needs so much that a spouse is turned into nothing more than a hope for the impossible? Wow. Interesting way of putting it. Interesting question, right? Is it really possible that one can be so unaware of one's needs, so much so that a spouse is turned into nothing more than a hope for the impossible? Is it possible that there are individuals who are so deprived and so unwelcome in their birth families that they spend their growing years looking for unconditional parental love and expect to get it from the spouse? Yeah. So this would be the person that says, um, these are the very possessive types, right? They want every little micro moment. Where call me twice, where are you all the time, and give me reassurance all the time or something. So they want to be the center. They always get the supply, get the supply. They think they own the other person. So possessive. You own, like the baby owns the breast. They own the partner. So this is way too unrealistic, right? That's what that guy was doing. That's what that abusive guy was doing in the Twilight Zone episode. That violent man, and he was demanding his wife to read his mind and meet his needs, even though he had no clue what he wanted or needed. He expected her to know what he wanted or needed and to meet him and to please him and satisfy him. She couldn't do that. He was very aggressive about that. So finally, she had to call in the dog. Come on, Doberman and Pinscher, get him. Jesus Christ, dude. So yeah, that's sort of, every time I talk about that episode, I get emotional. That's a very emotional. There are three very emotional episodes in the Twilight Zone series. Okay, so back up a sec. So we've been talking about the Twilight Zone for the past almost 2 months, I think. A lot of great episodes. Wong's Lost and Found Emporium, great episode. Gabe's Story, another great episode. Okay, Memphis, pretty good. The key to your future lies in the past. So he traveled to the past, fixed the past, and his future was better, right? And then One Life Furnished in Poverty, Saturday, Take My False Life, Please, about the comedian guy. And the prequel to Saturday was Nervous Man in a $4 Room, um, and several others. 1 out of 10 are really good. Roughly, it's kind of like 1001 Windmills. 1 out of 10 quotes are really good. It's kind of like that show, I feel. Like 1 out of 10 of those episodes are very good. There might be like two or three okay ones, sort of okay, fine. But I would say maybe 7 out of 10 are totally forgettable. But those 1 out of 10, that's worth it. It's good. It's like a hit song on an album or something. It's a good show. If those are. Where are we here? Okay, one seeks repeatedly what one didn't have. Um, yeah, so that can lead to greed, it can lead to envy if you can't get them, entitlement. Okay, so greed, entitlement. You have the unconscious hope for the fulfillment of those unfulfilled needs. So a person can spend their whole life looking for the one, and then swipe match on this. What is it? Swipe. Where's the one? Where's the one? Who reminds me of the other? Click, click, click. Come on, come on, come on. Something like that. Where are we here? Yeah, I saw. I just yeah, I mentioned that swipe thing because I saw a headline: "Stop swiping and start living." Yeah, those are all scam. Those are all scams. Those kind of things. There's no real profiles. It's all artificial intelligence made profiles. Just a mishmash of made up. Just all a scam. But people, they capitalize on this hope. I've got the hope. I got the hope. I can't give up this hope. So they join these things, I guess, pay whatever they pay, and they skim, 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 and they keep the hope going. Um, So that's what so today's headline. Stop this unrealistic fantasy hope. Um, Start living. Our love leads to madness. Where are we here? Let's do this here. Wait a second. Um, okay. So yeah. Okay. The individual simply perpetuates those early losses, repeating the tragedy of the past. The baby had a great hope for mother's love. It fell, crash. You heard no noise. The wreckage, the crash was within. O cunning tale that let no witness in. You don't know it. Body knows it. That's what the scarecrow image is about. You know it, but you can't think it because the scarecrow has no brain. You can't think it is known because you can't think because no brain. It's known. O cunning tale that let no witness in. So we gotta be a witness now. We gotta now know a witness. Right? We gotta be a detective and piece it together, witness it like that. So that's a trauma. We don't remember it, so we repeat. We repeat. So many ways to do this. Burglar has one example about the slot machine I've been using recently. So the baby was allured, right? Mother was alluring, and enticing, and promising, and seductor, whatever. Very, very filled with promise. Put it that way. So when the shrinks use the word that seduction, they don't mean physical. They mean like filled with great hope and promise, something like that kind of thing. Like that's why I've been saying enticing, alluring, like that. Baby was immensely allured, right? Um, a great hope fell, crash. You heard no noise. The wreckage was within. O cunning tale that let no witness him. Okay. There's a pain so utter, swallow sept and sept, then the person goes in a swoon. So yes, the pain, he'll go in a swoon, the mercy, the numb, swoon, trance, hypnosis, hypnoid state. Okay. He'll anesthetize his pain with the endorphins the brain sends him. So there's a mercy like that. But anyways, that's how he's dealing with the pain, just numbs it out somehow. But it's a trauma. Underneath the numb, underneath the shield of the numb, there's the memory of the trauma, the recording of the trauma. And when there's a trauma, we repeat. Even though you're in a trance, you sleepwalk and repeat the thing. So how do you repeat that? How do you repeat that? Well, the present, you got to make something in the present, use something in the present as a symbol for the past. Okay, so what about the slot machine? The slot machine's promising, it's alluring, it's enticing, it blinks all these lights, you might win all this money. Wow, very promising and alluring. You put your hope in, you put your coins in, click, click, click. Oh, ouch, disappointed. Well, you just replayed the dynamic that you experienced with your mother, but you forgot. The mother was a cold, refusing machine, you think. Wait a minute, are you telling me my mother was so cold and refusing? Like this slot machine, well, it's symbolic, it's not exact, it's trying to help you to remember. You don't remember that you were allured and rejected, so you go to the slot machine to be allured and rejected because you repeat when there's trauma. You keep doing it until you remember, and then you stop repeating. So in the meantime, it's mad, you're going to keep doing this. Now you're like a pigeon just pecking at the thing. But you got to be conscious. You're not a pigeon, you got to be conscious. Why am I doing this? What is this repeating? So you step back and say, wait a minute, am I doing this for me? Is it a message from me to know my unconscious self, my inferring mind, okay, my non-reporting brain, my inferring mind, is that unconscious mind, my double self, my secret self, my shadow self, my unknown self, the one who walks with me, who's not like me, who is me. Someone's living my life, I know nothing about him. This double self, is this part of me, this major unknown part of me, this repressed self, this denied self? Is this second self, this double self, this unknown self called the double self, the unconscious self? Is my unconscious self trying to tell me, also known as the inferring mind, is my inferring mind trying to tell my conscious mind, hey, conscious mind, make the inference, please. Please make the inference. Inference. Okay, you mean when I was a baby, I had a hope with the mother and I was rejected, just like what I'm doing here with the machine? Now you're getting sober. So we repeat it. Same thing with the cookies. Okay, you didn't get mother's sweetness, you didn't get mother's spirit. Okay, you buy biscuits, you buy biscotti and I don't know, beer or whatever, and it's disappointing. Really, alcoholic spirits is going to be mother spirit, maternal spirit? No. You're looking for some symbol of what you missed. You're still looking for it. So you repeat it. You get disappointed again. So um, okay, in anti-truth's model, the first born, if it's a girl, when they grow up, they're going to choose how the mother chose. Sorry, how the father chose. So they're going to marry a man with the personality of their mother. Okay. So if the parents are unhappy, she'll be unhappy. Put it that way. If they were dysfunctional, she'll be dysfunctional because she'll play the father's side personality and she'll find a man to play the mother's side personality. If the firstborn is a son, okay, it's kind of flipped. He'll role model himself after the mother, i.e., when he grows up, he'll choose how the mother chose. So in other words, when he grows up, he'll marry a woman with the personality of his father. So he married his father, i.e., a woman with the personality of his father, because he's going to choose the personality of how the mother chose the personality. So you're recreating the thing. Now, if they weren't happy, you're going to pick up and continue that thing. So you're recreating the parent template, and your marriage is going to be a copy, as above, so below. The outer is a reflection of the inner state. If the inner state was miserable, your outer state will reflect. You're going to create a miserable relationship to reflect the miserable template that you wired in when you were a baby, watching your parents argue with each other all the time. So you're just going to recreate that while you play one parent and find someone else to play the other parent. So you're just recreating things. Yeah. Now, sometimes there's a more perverse, disturbed way it's done. Okay. Mother shamed you. Well, you become the shaming mother. You find others to play you. You shame them the way mother shamed you. So the rejection is you reject others, but others are you. You're the rejecting mother. You do this to not be aware that you're rejecting yourself. So you find somebody to reject, to not feel that you're rejecting yourself. That's the Faustian deal, the Faustian pact, the Faustian bargain. You sell your soul. You sell your soul. To have mother's power, live forever, no time, timeless, infinite, eternal. That part of the brain, no time, no time. That's why they say live forever, live forever. Getting carried away here. I was yesterday I was talking like this for a bit, and I was reminded of George Carlin. He does that quick kind of talking. I was thinking, just for fantasy, oh my God, what if I improve this and I can deliver this in a George Carlin-esque way? Or I mean, the guy has 100 million views for talking like this. Right? My goodness, I've got no. I gotta find a fun way to deliver this material. Where are we here? Okay, repetition compulsion. So we're just going to keep on repeating. When there's trauma, we recreate and repeat. So when you recreate and repeat, there's the benign way you play yourself, find others who reject you. The more perverse way is you find others to play you and you reject them because you became the rejecting mother. And then you hate the one you rejected because you flip-flop. The one you rejected is you. You flip-flop. That's your mother who hurt you. Now you're angry at the one you just hurt. That's the more perverse way. So if trauma is before 18 months, that's the Faustian deal one. If trauma is post 18 months, they're still childlike, they're still themselves, they don't hurt others, they just re-experience and recreate others hurting them to know that the mother hurt them. So they're still kind of on track like that. It's childlike and all, but it's still the human realm. The stingers, the personalities before 18 months, they just want to play. They just want to be addicted to playing infantile God, infantile mating. They're addicted to infantile. They're addicted to schadenfreude, greed, envy. They forget about the human, quote unquote, human side of being here, the feeling side of being here, the beingness side of being. They don't want that stuff. They just want the power of the mother, Faustian deal, sell their soul. Too painful, find others who play their soul, shame them to make them unaware that they're selling their soul. So reject other people to make them unaware that they're rejecting themselves. And so they got mother's power like that. They're the active one doing it. And they feel they're stuck at that point where they take refuge in the time in the uterus when they were a little god and a king. So it's addictive to be in a blissful thing. The baby's not addicted originally, but when you go back and blip it up all the time, then you get addicted, like he said. So narcissism is addictive, right? Named after the little white flower, narke, narcissus. Narcao, or something like that. Where are we here? When I meet a couple with marital, when I meet a couple for marriage therapy, my practice at the first or second session is to ask them to describe their fathers and mothers. Oh, what do you know? There's a fit. There's usually a clear fit between the spouse and one of their parents. Yeah. So if it's the firstborn, the daughter, she married her mother. What a fit. Describe your husband. Fill in the blank. Describe your mother. Oh my God. It's a to a T almost. Same thing with the father. Um, Now the second child, it's flipped because the genetic pairing. So if the firstborn is a daughter, she marries her mother. Um, the next child, chances are, odds are, they're gonna uh, role model after the other parent, and they'll find a partner with the personality of the other parent. Whatever the third one is, she said the fourth will be a flip with the third. So it's the pairing like that. Okay, so the parent who's most similar to the spouse is also the parent with whom the client had the most difficulty. Okay, so just in general terms, when the child watches their parents relate, they're going to role model after the more pleasant one, let's say. But the curse is when they grow up, they're going to choose the painful partner for their partner. Right? Get it? So the child watches his parents. That's called a couple imprint, stencil, template, stamp, template, neural circuit, ka-chunk. It's a template, right? And then he is going to, like a cookie cutter thing, he's going to create out of that template. So if the template is father was one way, mother was another one way, he'll pick one. He'll role model himself after one of them and then find someone to play the other one in the template cookie thing. So, it seems to be minus the theory about the firstborn, just in broader general terms. Um, the child will role model the more pleasant one, I guess, the more they want to be like, let's say. So the child might say, um, whatever. Let's say the father. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Let's say the father is sort of a thinker type. Let's say, um, mild mannered, reasonable. Okay, and the mother's more dramatic or hysterical or something. So the child will say, um, okay, let's say it's a boy, right? Let's say the boy says, no, the boy's going to choose the mother, then his wife will be a turtle, right? If the father's a turtle and the mother is the drama queen, and it's a son, he'll choose like the drama queen and choose a wife who has the turtle personality. So the man marries a turtle. The turtle personality just shelled off. Leave me alone. They don't really connect emotionally or warmly like that. They're a little schizoid or something. Just reads his books, hides behind the newspaper. Little turtle, like shelled off or something. Avoidant attachment style. Okay. So yeah. So minus the firstborn. So let's get away from the firstborn issue. In general terms, other than the first. Okay. So secondborn onwards, the child's going to pick one to imitate. Then they grow up and find a mate with the personality of the partner their role model parent chose. That's the role model mate or something. That means you're going to marry the one you didn't like, the parent you didn't like. Like if the kid likes the mother, let's say, not the father, they're going to choose how the mother chose. So they'll marry a partner with the parent that they didn't like. So usually, so the painful thing is still going on, right? And now you're dealing with the issue of the parents met each other from their imprints, and everybody is doing this because of unmet needs. Okay, where are we here? For example, the harsh father. okay, is repeated in a harsh husband or wife. Okay, um, the domineering mother is repeated in the domineering spouse. All right. This represents the acting out of unresolved relationships with the parent who is perceived as the aggressor, the parent the client could not get to fulfill his or her needs. Okay. There's an overlap here with Ann Teachworth's book, Why We Pick the Mates We Do. If the parents were frustrated with each other, not meeting each other's needs, you see, and you role model yourself after one of them, that means you're going to choose how they chose. So you're going to end up and recreate the same thing your parents have. It's more or less the same thing. A little overlap, a little different, but overlapped at the same time. All right, where are we here? This represents acting out. All right, the unconscious choice of mate represents an attempt to change the parent, to get the love and caring that was missing. The spouse, in turn, fills the role of the one who frustrates. So your partner, the parent you imitate, that parent was trying to get his needs met. So you become them, and you're trying to get the needs of your parent that was unmet, plus your own to boot. So what a mess, right? That's why Ann Teachworth's three-chair exercises to role play a healthy version of your parents first before you get married. Pretend you had healthy parents. Imagine how they related between them. And you role play a healthy father in one chair, hop over the other chair, and role play a healthy mother responding healthily to your new now healthy father. And you do different sequences and scenes again and again. Imagine your parents discussing a film together, being having fun together, solving a problem together, making I statements together. Um, um, get whatever you want. Apologizing to each other. So you just create these scenes. So you role play those two. You role play them. Okay, now, so this material has been discussed just recently um, from 29, 40, 29, 40, 1 to 3, is it? I think that's it, 40, yeah, 41 to 3. So we did a 3 video special run on this. Yeah, 1 to 3, 29, 41 to 3. I'm pretty sure that's it. Or better yet, just get the book. It's widely available. It's now in its 6th printing. It's widely available, easily available book. Okay, so you're still repeating the frustration, the disappointment. Try again, same old thing. When there's trauma, we have the hope to get a better past, so you're still repeating it. The unconscious choice of mate represents an attempt to change the parent to get the love that was missing. The spouse, in turn, fills the role of the one who frustrates, so you recreated it. The result is complaints such as, oh, yeah, he doesn't listen to me, and that's not what I said, or that's not what I meant. You're doing the same old gaslighting, passive aggressive, stonewalling, stubbornness. You're recreating the same old thing. This in turn leads to power struggles, battles of wills, fights about who's right and who's wrong. What follows sometimes is that quiet but intensely unpeaceful feeling of walking on eggshells in order not to upset the balance. The couple is playing a duet, claiming to want harmony, but instead playing dissonance. So the couple stays married, but it's it's tense. They ignore each other, follow the rules maybe. That's kind of, so that's not usually it's sour milk or rusts out and burns out. Sometimes they manage to keep it, but it's very edgy, very edgy. We fail to recognize the dynamics of the interaction with the spouse,
And because we don't fully remember the harmful impact the parent had on us, we tend to repeat the relationship again and again. Again, we don't remember it. That's why we repeat. We expect, we hope that this time we will succeed in getting what we want. We live with the hope and expectation that we will find the fulfillment in marriage that we have not found until now. If we sense that the potential or the actual spouse cannot meet our expectations, we live with the fiction that we will get them to be more responsive, more giving, stronger, kinder, less harsh. Why? Because we continue to be caught up in the childhood fantasy that we will be able to please and change the parent.
So the idea is you find somebody in the present who's a copy of your parent, and you think if you change uh, uh, the the partner, you're thinking you're changing the parent in the past. Doesn't make sense. But you as a baby had a great hope to change. Come on, mother, please change. Please be like Jane in the film Three Faces of Eve. Don't be Eve white or Eve black. Please be Jane. Come on, change, change. Be like Jane. Please, mother, watch the film The Three Faces of Eve. Be like Jane. Don't be like Eve white or black. Eve white was too depressing. Eve white was too dangerous. Come on, please be a normal mother. Okay, failed. All right, grow up. Or find somebody like that parent. Try to fix them, still thinking you're trying to save the parent.
Change the parent. So that we will be able to finally get the love that we needed. In many instances, this kind of thinking and wishing didn't even work with our parents. So why would it work with somebody who's a copy of your parents?
Somebody said, you chose somebody like your parents to know the truth that your mother didn't love you. So if you find a copy of that person, they're the same, so it's going to come up to you again.
And most certainly, it will not work in marriage. In other words, marriages are unconscious choices, are made in the unconscious. Repetition compulsion, a need to reenact one's unresolved problems. And people can go through life constantly acting out these problems. It's the continual presence of the past. The continual presence of the past.
And in the next page, there'll be one about anniversary reactions. Let's say you got an anniversary reaction, anxious. Well, think about the anniversary on the calendar.
Well, comfort foods may offer relief from anxiety, but they do nothing to help in dealing with the compulsion to repeat. Okay, well, just in general. Sorry. So emotional eating, cookies, wine, cigarettes, they may offer some relief from anxiety, but they do nothing to help in dealing with the compulsion to repeat. Okay, so this is the therapy idea. It has been said that the main instrument for curbing the client's compulsion to repeat and for turning it into a motive for remembering lies in the handling of the transference. We render the compulsion harmless and even useful by giving it the right to assert itself in a definite field.
So bring up the compulsion to repeat with the helper, so it's rendered helpless. You're not hurting anybody outside like that. So my favorite example is that one about the lady. She was gonna have a baby, but she said, but before she had a baby, she said, hold the phone here. Ran to the shrinker man, help me up, wise me up if you can. He said, oh yes, you're letting me know what kind of childhood you had in our relationship here. Really? You're putting me in the role of you. You're putting me in the role of you, and you're acting like her. And I feel a kind of a push and a tug and a pull to maybe feel what you felt with her. Oh my God. So click, click, she kind of got it, realized that she was acting in an archaic identification known as the Faustian deal, just like her, shaming the shrink who's her. She's the shaming mother. So he felt how she felt. Oh my God. She was going to do that to her baby, what she was doing to the shrinker man. He pointed it out. She mourned it, sadness, mourned the loss of the loving mother that should have been there, mourned the loss of all the wasted time, quote unquote. mourn the loss of the potential not fulfilled, um, mourn, feel badly about all the mistakes. She mourned all that, got the story, remembered, grieved, got her beingness. Okay, then she had a baby. Okay, doesn't need to repeat. She repeated it with the shrinker man, got the memory, then she didn't need to repeat it onto the baby. So that's what the therapy is about, is to bring this up, to expose this to the light of awareness, then you don't need to repeat it. Remember, then you don't repeat. Remember with the shrink, don't repeat onto the baby. If you remember with the shrink, then you don't need to repeat it onto the baby. That's what the last one's sort of about. Oh, I gotta get the speaker back up. Maybe I'll choose another song here. Hold on a sec. That's a good song. Anyway, let's pick another song here. Let's see. Yesterday we played Anne Shell. Song there. Why are we? She's saying, why are we fighting? Jeez, my heart went boom, boom. The damage has been done. I'm lovesick. I fell for you. Um, you triggered the bliss with my mother. Whoa, I'm spellbound. But so why are we fighting? Well, you're fighting because you're trying to get the oneness that you didn't get with the breast mother. No one can do that. That's why you're fighting. So the solution is to discuss it and mourn it together. Actually, a couple can help each other to mourn and grieve the loss of the past if they're conscious of it. Now, they generally speaking need to be traumatized post 18 months for that. If they're traumatized prior to 18 months, they really don't want to do that. They're too addicted. So if two stingers get married, they'll scapegoat one of their children. If they're just friends, they'll scapegoat some other outside one, called emotional triangle scapegoating, to blow off steam and tension. Others can be their no good them. Others can be the bad mother because they think everyone's them. They're no good, mother's bad. They think everyone's no good and bad. So they need the third to discharge their tension, the pain, and the steam of not feeling, blowing off steam. They need a third for the system, like the triangle thing. So if it's before 18 months, chances are they don't want to grow or heal together. Why? Because they don't have this. It brings up too much anxiety. So they blow off steam on the third. So they invent a third to scapegoat on. If the trauma is post 18 months and the two of them are both post 18 months clingers, pleasers, they can make I statements, they can feel associate, they can consciously grow together, and they can help each other more in the past. They can grow and be like counselors to each other, like therapists, if they're conscious. So if they read books like this, they can do it. And teacher said, when a couple comes to her, we're always fighting with each other. Help us to communicate. Teach us some communication skills. Teach us conflict resolution skills. She said, no, no. You, ma'am, I'll see you on Monday. You, sir, I'll see you on Tuesday. Okay, fine. She comes in. Oh, I see. So we're gonna role. I'm gonna role play with you. Communication skills. What? Why am I here then? What are we doing here? The client is in your head. Your parents, that relationship in your head, your memory of your parents, that's the focus. We want a new president in your head. We need a new memory in your head. It'll be positive fake memories. Tell me, how do you wish your parents related? Okay, tell me about it. She might say, I wish my father apologized. Okay, role play it. Do it. Say you're him. Hop into the chair and say his name, I'm him. And look to the other chair and imagine he's talking to his wife, your mother, and you apologize to her. And then you hop chairs and play a healthy mother responding in the way you wish she had responded to. Create a new dynamic parallel to the template and do it again and again and again. Okay. And then on Tuesday, same thing with him. And this goes on for several months. Now each of them can respectively have something else to refer to. And sure enough, she claims they saved their marriage. They were nicer to each other because they had something else to refer to. If you don't have that alternative network or memory to refer to, you just go to your default of the parent stamp. So the three-chair exercise. Yeah. Underappreciated. It's a good book. It's a good book. Why we picked the main studio. I was very surprised to find it. I wrote it off initially as a typical fluffy, trite, preachy, nothing kind of book. Um, woman just using it as a deal to complain or preach or something or sound report. I don't know, some other agenda. But actually, it's practical. It was good. It's a good little book. So we did 3 videos on that book recently. Why we pick the mates we do by Ann Teachworth. Unfortunately, her sequel is not available. Um, it's a really. I'm trying to get it. It was a limited run. Just before she passed away, she published an update to that book. There's no copies of it around. No secondhand copies. No bookstores carry it. Jesus. I rode around looking, can I buy somebody's secondhand copy of it? No answer. But the first book's very good, 1997, I think, something like that. She discusses her sequel in a video interview on YouTube.
The road is long and life is too short. Some Holy Spirit's buried in the earth, while some more spirits needing to be heard. You and me don't wanna fight no more. The road is long and life is too short. Some Holy Spirit's buried in the earth, while some more spirits needing to be heard. You and me don't wanna fight no more. I don't wanna fight no more. Don't wanna fight no more. I don't wanna fight no more. Don't wanna fight no more. Always on the line, it's too short. Holy Spirit's buried in
That's from Eli Sapi's. Oh, I said Anne Shell. Pardon me, correction. That's Eli Sapi. Um, she's got a very good album called Traveling Love. Very good album. And 4 songs from that album are on our soundtrack. Um, the Love You Gave, Leave Me on the Beat, and this one here, The Earth Moved. Meaning emotion, like her feelings moved. She means it like that. How are we doing at the time? Yeah, let's see. I got a late start today. So, okay, it's 4:52, 5 o'clock, right? So I've got a good half an hour. I'm debating whether to squeeze in today's quotes or do a part 2. So yeah, okay, let me just zip through it. Let me just read through this and I'll update it in a discussion next time. Okay, so let's do 2946. This is a challenging topic. It's an obscure idea called Pyrrhic revenge. I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Some kind of version of self-defeating behavior. You're so invested to express your anger at somebody, even if it hurts yourself. So you don't care about yourself. You just want that feeling that you got back at somebody. Um, and it's not like Pyrrhic, the term Pyrrhic victory, where you question, gee, was it worth it? Like not like that. It's a more deliberate kind of thing. Okay, all forms of self defeating behavior emerge. Hey, I wonder if I can play some ambient. Oh my God, here's a thought. Why don't I download some nice, peaceful New Age music or something? Do I have anything on here? I don't think so. And I can play it in the background while I'm reading it, right? I've got nothing. I've got just, oh, here's Enough Love, but okay. So I've got Santer's, Delirium, Street Heart. This is all, here's, oh, Star. I got Star by Street Heart.
I told that girl what I thought you should be. I told that girl what I thought you should be.
Let's begin here. It's a great song called Street Heart. That's off their second album, Under Heaven, Over Hell, a song called Star. I love the opening riff for that one. Okay, let's read through these. All forms of self-defeating behavior emerge in response to a problematic relationship between child and mother known as a separation-individuation conflict or the eternal love triangle. Yeah, look at that. So mother crushed you. Well, you stay crushed to stay loyal to the mother, waiting for mother to fix you. So you're self-defeating to stay loyal. Mother, when are you going to fix me? When are you going to love me? You crushed me. I'm going to stay in that crushed state, waiting for you to change your ways and invent the time machine and give me the needs I met. I can't even mourn it. So you got to give me enough love so I can even mourn it. So I'm waiting. I'm self-defeating. And the idea about why it's so difficult to just forgive her or something is that, well, you're angry by what she did. And if you were to brush it off, you're betraying your feelings of what she did to you. So you're self-defeating. Um, that's one idea about self-defeating. All forms of self-defeating behavior emerge in response to a problematic relationship between mother and child known as the separation-individuation, i.e., the developmental conflict, i.e., the developmental conflict. Simply stated, one theory holds that a critical determinant of a child's self-conception comes from the way their mother responds to their earliest strivings for or manifestations of independence. Yeah, some mothers say, no way, baby. You with me against me, baby. You got to take care of me. You want to be autonomous? You want to be yourself? I withdraw. I punish you. Whoa, baby freaks out. He'll sacrifice his autonomy, his individuation, his developmental process, his agency, his autonomy, his identity. Like, oh, good. So he can't have that because mother conditioned him, brainwashed him to stay loyal to her and serve her and fix her and take care of her. So he's self-defeating to be loyal to the mother all the time. So the only way out of this is to call a spade a spade. Your mother didn't love you. She used you. She exploited you. Okay. If a mother responds to her child's pursuit for autonomy with hostility, as though she were being rebuffed or rejected, or if she shows anxiety over the child's attempts to achieve self-mastery, her child will view success very
pain ambivalently, despite despite the sense of freedom and joy and power that independence can afford a young child. If it causes their mother to experience distress, the child ultimately acquires the potential to exact it acquires the potential to exact severe emotional penalties for the child. Okay. um, if it causes the mother that, okay, the mother feeling anxious, okay, that will, sorry, again, despite the joy, happiness, freedom, power that the baby would feel if he could be autonomous, despite that, if it's going to cause the mother pain, it ultimately acquires the potential to exact severe emotional penalties for the child in terms of lost security, abandonment, or rejection by a loved and needed parent, by sabotaging the actions that will secure his independence and consequently cost him love. An anxious child can reestablish a secure relationship with his mother by failing to succeed. The only way the baby gets mother's love if they fail and succeed. Oh, mother rewards me. She's nice to me. When I fail and succeed, she's nice to me. She's rewarding this. She's rewarding this. She rewards this. If the child's autonomous, she withdraws and punishes. She rejects. Child's conditioned, brainwashed, deeply brainwashed. Child gets the belief all throughout his life, if he's going to be autonomous or something, do something good for him, try to be happy, he remembers the pain of mother saying, with me or against me, I'll abandon you, I'll reject you. He's feeling what any baby would feel if he had no mother. He's terrorized like this. The only way to get mother is to fail. Okay, I can't live without a mother in his timeless brain memory, unconscious fantasies. So the only way to have a mother is to be self-defeating. Some mothers do that. Some mothers say to their children, the only way I'll love you, child, is if you're self-defeating, miserable, unhappy, and then it makes me feel good, makes me feel important, makes me feel it makes me feel that you can be my shame self, makes me feel that you can represent my unloved self, my shame self, my hated self. You play that. You play proxy for my unloved self. I'll deny it, and then I'll play the Faustian. I'll be the mother who did that. Because maliciously intentioned self-defeating behavior rarely occurs in a vacuum or without an enabling partner, members of the psychoanalytic community have dubbed this style emotional sadomasochism. This term implies correctly, we believe, that self defeat may be used to gain symbolic, psychological victory or control over another. For the same reasons that we have rejected emotional masochism, however, we have found emotional sadomasochism inaccurate and misleading. Phrases such as, quote, weapon of the weak, or, quote, victory through defeat, seem preferable to describe the unique substyle of maliciously intended behavior that we call firework revenge. So it may end up the child's going to grow up with this attitude, yeah, a weapon of the weak, I'm weak, but I'll stay weak, but if it can affect you, firework revenge. So it is emotional. They're trying to offer an alternative to the more vague and unpopular phrase emotional sadomasochism, firework revenge. Okay, one guy has described this type of maliciously intentioned self defeating behavior as serving a narcissistic function. A person with a defective sense of self can use self defeating behaviors to form an interdependent relationship with a highly valued partner in order to acquire a sense of self esteem. If debasing oneself in relation to another can serve to establish a symbiosis in which one is either nurtured or attended to in a desired manner, the structure of this relationship will presumably bolster or at least temporarily maintain the self saboteur's sense of self worth. Jesus, him.
Okay, so let's say one partner is very passive aggressive. Nobody's happy, but they've got some power in this symbiotic passive aggressive relationship. So it's a fire of revenge. No one's happy, but the woman who's being passive aggressive feels active, feels important, feels narcissistic, but no one's happy. Fire of revenge, right?
It is hard to argue that pyrrhic revenge is not a pathological way of receiving love.
Yeah. So if the woman provokes, deliberately the man to shout at her, um, that's and he's upset, but she got some attention, so she suffered by him shouting, but she got back at him somehow. Is that right?
Did I get that right? Hold on. Because people who exhibit this self defeating style are the products of parents who love them in pathological ways, their adult love relationships tend to pattern the interactive styles they know best. Okay, so all the games, right? Desertion, threatened abandonment, shouting, um, idealization, devaluation, BPD antics, and alike. Yet beneath these pathological ways of loving lies the second fundamental goal of the maliciously intentioned self defeatist, i.e., the establishment of an interpersonal bond that wards off the terror of being alone. We have found that self defeatists who employ fiery revenge in relationships are, like all other self defeatists, also centrally concerned with shoring up a potential defective sense of self. Yet, in contrast to other self defeatists who manipulate aspects of the self in pursuit of self esteem protection, the maliciously intentioned self defeatist derives self enhancement by establishing interdependence with a highly valued partner. This symbiosis, though painful and punishing on the surface, provides a structure that can bolster the self saboteur's sense of worth. As long as the link with the partner is maintained, whether through repetitive shouting matches, fights, or oscillating separations and reunions, the pyrrhic revenge seeker feels relief from a gnawing sense of emptiness or self loathing by being linked with a valued partner.
Okay, so let's say the man has zero self-esteem, and she treats him really badly. He'd rather tolerate the emotional abuse from the esteemed lady, because he thinks the alternative is worse. He'd have nobody. So it's kind of like, I'd rather be emotionally abused by my pretty wife, let's say, than be alone or something. Maybe the next one will be help. Let's see if the next one clarifies it. The fallacy of some self defeatists are driven by demonic traits um, toward a destiny of despair. Oh, the fallacy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This is a fallacy. There's no demon involved. There's no external. There's no outer thing involved here. There's no like, some alien came here and cursed you. There's not. There's no external kind of thing. In fact, these individuals are grappling ineffectually to resolve the effects of trauma that left them yearning for those entrusted with their emotional health and well being to act appropriately. Although their repetitive involvements with parent substitutes cannot resolve the scars left by emotional parenting, abusive parenting, it is possible to help the pyrrhic revenge seeker and all other self defeatists for that matter if they are helped to understand what impels them toward their self destructive ends. Okay, so just to focus on the psychology here. It's not, don't blame some external made up thing. Now, don't blame some mysterious unknown thing. Just, it's a psychological issue. Uh, You're motivated somehow. You're trying to get a better outcome from the past. You want your mother in the past to love you finally. She hurt you, so you're recreating the hurt.
If you recognize that there is a pervasive tendency to make bad judgments by ignoring long-term risks and costs, you may be able to avoid self-destruction by paying extra attention to such long-range factors while making choices. If you know the contributions if you know the contributions that others have made to failed relationships, and if you are content to realize that some losses are justified, life is far more livable.
Okay, oh, that last one's like a reality check here. Just accept the reality of life, that there's bound to be losses and things, um, and others are hurting you. It's real. Others are mistreating you because they don't remember that their mother mistreated them. So that these losses, it's a loss. Admit that's a loss. If you're going to accept that, maybe life is far more livable. But if you deny that, no, I gotta repeat my trauma bond with my mother copy to get a better past. Suddenly, my enthusiasm for this topic has diminished a little bit. What happened here? Yeah, this time around, I found it a little more confusing this time around. Okay, I'll leave it for you to read or to figure out your mission. Figure this out, or better yet, just read their book. The author, their names are right there: Burgess and Roy Baumeister. What's their book called again? Geez, I forgot the name of the book. Self-defeating behavior. Something about self-defeating behaviors in the title. I just found it's a new term. It's a new term referring to getting back at your mother somehow. You're weak. You're weak. You're wounded by your mother. You get back at your mother by giving your partner, who's your mother copy, a hard time. Although it's self-defeating all around, but you're getting back at your mother somehow, and it maintains the trauma bond. And it's that, or needing to grow up and mourn the loss. Let's just play. You know what? You know what's better? Let's just play Delirium. We've got a song on this topic by the band Delirium. Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed. I feel like I didn't provide much clarity here in this. Let's play a Delirium song. If you get one thing out of this video, maybe it's this one here. So here's a song called Self-Saboteur. Oh, gotta plug it in again. Hold on a sec. All right. Even though you're lying down, you're hiding in a war between the world and your brain. Oh, son of a gun. This wire is so fickle. My goodness. I try to move it here. Hold on a sec. What happened here?
Okay, again, let's start again here. This is a song called "Self Saboteur" by the band Delirium.
No one wins at this game. Throwing knives in your face. And even though you're lying down, you're biting in a war between the world and your brain. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy. You are what you despise. Blame insomnia on crime. Anger is your bow and arrow. It's better than a shield for your sorrow. When nothing's hurting inside. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy. All the things you have always end up with someone. And you think that they all the big plans you made will explode and you'll suffocate from the anger What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy.
So if applicable, if, big if here, if applicable, the conclusion seems to be, if applicable, quote, my mother didn't, okay, call a spade a spade, call a spade a spade, if applicable, quote, my mother didn't love me. Just admit it, she didn't love the baby. Then you're free. You don't got to save her anymore. She couldn't love you. No imitation of her can be her in the past. So that doesn't make sense. But to realize that, you got to first face this painful truth that the mother didn't love the baby. Why didn't my mother love me? Well, get to the place where she didn't. She was impaired. She didn't have her beingness. She had the pin in the collar, like they said in the Robert Bly, Merriam Woodman. Many people say that their parents didn't have their beingness. They didn't have their beingness. They interviewed people, and they're all saying, "Oh no, my mother, she didn't have that sense of beingness. He didn't have it either." So that they don't have the structure, the ability to love. You need to have the beingness to love. Like who loves? A person loves. Like an authentic person loves. An I love. Like you need the I there, not the fake stuff. The fake I, oh boy, that's just envy, greed, entitlement, spite. That's not. That doesn't love. It's the opposite. It's just survival jungle slogan survival. It's all conditional stuff. It's just survival stuff. The beingness loves. So the parents don't have the beingness. So from that perspective, she couldn't meet the baby's needs. Now, if the baby's needs aren't met, and he thinks the mother's a sea monster, an alien, obviously we now say mother didn't. It seems to be kind of immediate to say like that. My mother didn't love me, meaning she couldn't. She was impaired. Um, Now, this has to be done in a container with a caring witness, and it needs time to build up to that kind of thing. That seems to be the conclusion. Otherwise, you might be engaged in something like this, whatever it is. I didn't quite follow to tell you the truth. This is the rare time. This is the rare time. Maybe I got carried away. Um, so once in a blue moon, maybe once a year, I feel like, what is all this? What was I thinking? Why did I post these quotes? I'm gonna have another go at this. See if I can update this. I'm kind of behind with the quotes. I've got a huge backlog of quotes here, but at the time of reading it, it seemed interesting. So part of it is this deep dependency. It's this symbiotic union. That's part of it. At the same time, maybe what it is. Okay, maybe what all this is. Maybe it's just a version of passive aggressive behavior. Maybe it's just a version of passive aggressive behavior. So the person who's very passive aggressive in their behavior, if they think anything that somebody wants is their mother demanding something, so they say no. I mean, they say no in a quiet, covert, sneaky, passive, quiet way. They don't cooperate. They pretend they didn't hear, or they actually don't hear, or they'll pretend to agree in a vague way. It's implied, but then they flip. I didn't mean that. So they won't cooperate. So they're passive aggressive. So they'll be late. Meet at 5 o'clock. Okay, meet at 5 o'clock. They won't meet up. They won't show up at 5 o'clock. That's what you want. That's what my mother wanted. So I'll be late. I'm not going to cooperate with you because cooperate with my mother. I'm angry at my mother. That's fire and revenge. Passive aggressiveness is fire and revenge. So everyone suffers, but they got back at the person thinking that person was their mother. So they're fighting with the mother, getting back at the mother. No, mother, you standing in for mother, you want to meet at 5 o'clock. I'm going to make you wait. That's my revenge. I'm going to punish you. I'm angry at you. I'm angry at you. Fire and revenge. So it's deliberate. It's a deliberate, intentional thing. I'm not going to be on time. I'm going to make them wait. So maybe, yeah, that makes a little more sense to me. Maybe this is just a version of passive aggressiveness. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's how I feel at the moment. This is just a version of passive aggressiveness. So about a year ago, we did 4 videos on a book called The Passive Aggressive Man by a guy named Scott Wetzler. Not a bad little book called The Passive Aggressive Man. So the passive aggressive person, um, and they're angry, they're aggressive, but it's all very passive. It's just quiet, sneaky, it's covert. So that's called passive aggressiveness. It's probably the child thinking there's no way he can directly say no to the mother. So he says no in some sneaky way. So you're trying to say no in a roundabout, sneaky, quiet way or something. At the same time, since you are angry, it does make the other person angry by this. Then the other person's angry. Then you say, oh, look how angry you are, look how aggressive you are. Well, because you're acting like that, I'm not going to cooperate. So it kind of compounded the thing, right? Now you got an extra excuse not to cooperate if you provoke them to be angry with your passive aggressiveness. They trusted something that they thought there was an agreement. And you flip it and say, aha, I didn't mean that. So you made it vague so you can do that. Aha. And now I'm angry. Oh, so you're angry. I'm not going to cooperate with you. So maybe that's a Pyrrhic revenge. They're getting back at you. It's all Pyrrhic because they don't get, no one benefits from this kind of thing. Yeah. We have 4 songs by the band Delirium on our soundtrack. That one you just heard called Self Saboteur. Another one called Truly. Very good song called Truly. You haven't played it in a long time. Truly, yeah. Okay, let's play that next time. Truly. And the acoustic, there's a song called After All, but I mean the acoustic, not the original one, the acoustic version of After All. And the fourth one is the fourth one as well. I've talked about Katie Lee in the last video. We have 4 songs by the folk singer Katie Lee on our soundtrack. Shrinker Man, It Must Be Something Psychological, Properly Loved, and Repressed Hostility Blues, off her album entitled Songs of Couch and Consultation. Her follow-up album didn't really have any hits on it. It was entitled Life is a Bed of Neurosis instead of Roses. It's just fun songs like that. That Shrinker Man song is the parody about how wouldn't it be nice if we could get ourselves fixed the way we get our cars fixed? Shrinker Man, I got an unconscious complex. I got a guilt complex. I'm on a complex, so I got a guilt complex. I always think I'm guilty. I'm wrong. I didn't save my mother. She punished me. I was in pain. What did I do wrong? Why am I guilty? I got this complex. And I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong with her. And I'm self-defeating because she told me I'm no good. And I got to believe her to have a connection with her. And I got a complex to it. Can I just give it to you? Can it be yours? Can you take it and fix it? Like giving you, like I'm giving you a broken car. Can I give you my broken me? Shrinker Man, shrink. Should we play it here? Let's play it. Okay, Shrinker Man. So this is the singer's Katie Lee. So just a short song, about a minute and a half long. If I can find it here, one sec. Wise me up if you can. Wise me up if you can. I've been on one of those complex tours.
Shrinker man, put me straight if you can. Free me of my tics and twitches, disconnect my latent switches, Shrinker man. Shrinker man, wise me up if you can. Air my problems and excuse me, sympathize and unconfuse me, Shrinker man. I've been on one of those complex tours. I want you to make my problems yours. Now give me one of them cut-rate cures, Shrinker man. Shrinker man, set me right if you can. Align me, tune me, normalize me, clean me up and simonize me, Shrinker man. Shrinker man. Shrinker man. Shrinker man. Shrinker man.
The ending of that song reminds me of the Twilight Zone. So once again, the Twilight Zone, very good show. Wong's Lost and Found Emporium, Gabe's Story, Memphis, Take My False Life, Please, One Life Furnished in Poverty, the Doberman Pinscher one, that one. There's a Groundhog Day. The guy has a recurring, looping Groundhog Day nightmare about guilt. About guilt. The boy came on, and the mother smothered the boy. The father felt helpless and said, "Fine, take him. Leave me alone." Um, oh no, sorry. That's one version. Another version is the boy comes on the scene, and the father's jealous that his wife is spending so much time with the son, and the father unconsciously didn't want the son. So he felt this, that he did something wrong to the father. He felt guilty. What did I do wrong? He doesn't know this. Later on, he had the nightmares of a courtroom where in the courtroom scene, the judge is the father. You're guilty, kaplunk. Next night, the father's the district attorney. Oh, you're guilty. I'm coming after you. I hate you. Next night, the minister, priest guy, whatever. Oh, you're guilty. You're a sinner. You're guilty. Oh my God. So in the dream, he said, gee, father, what did I do wrong here? So he's trying to get out of this unconscious guilt. He doesn't know why he's guilty. What did he do wrong? Like, come on. The baby did nothing wrong. The boy coming on the scene did nothing wrong. But if the father says, I'm jealous, I go away, then he thinks he did something. No, the father's doing something. He didn't do anything wrong. The baby's innocent. But he believes he did something wrong. That's unconscious guilt. This is a deep issue here. Complex. Been on one of those complex tours. So he has an unconscious guilt to it. Similar to the trial story, okay, Franz Kafka's famous story, the trial. Okay, one day a guy is told he's guilty. The guy, oh really? Of what? They don't tell him. He's freaking out over this. So we don't remember why we feel guilty. So just like the Twilight song, he doesn't know why he's guilty, but he's getting these nightmares. Guilty, guilty. Why am I guilty? Why am I guilty? Um, Another version of part B of that story was the sister didn't want him around because the sister depended on the connection with the father to protect her from the abusive mother. He needed the father. When the boy came on, the sister said, no, son, younger brother, you're going to interrupt my bond with the father. I need my father to protect me from my abusive mother. I don't want you around here. So again, he came on the scene. The sister didn't want him. And it's like he felt guilt. Did I do something wrong? Here I am, and I did something wrong? Yes, you did something wrong. You shouldn't be here. I go away. Oh my God. So this kid grew up, same guy, had a looping nightmare to this effect. So he was supposed to do, he needed to confront both his father and his sister. We only see the father part with a brief mention about the sister, and the episode ended. Very interesting. Disturbing, hard to watch episode, of course. But, I don't know. A bunch of others, yeah. The Saturday one is about the healing journey, um, uh, described in 7 parts, named after the days of the week. Someday, Moan Day, Tuesday, Wound Day, Thorn Day, Free Day, Saturday. Again, so the someday issue, all this someday, really repeating a new version of the past in the present. You can change the past someday, someday. I mean, if you pull the slot machine again and again, someday it'll be mother's love in the past, really? Or protest against the mother by showing her up, by shaming others the way she shamed you, to tell the world how she shamed you, really? It's going to change the past? Or maybe some symbol of mother can be mother's love in the past. Some pint of ice cream will be mother's sweetness in the past. Really? Someday, you got to face this nonsense. Then there's a moan about it. Then the dues day, the one we just mentioned, is guilt. So you feel like debt, guilt, dues, like you do, owe, like do, debts. No, the baby doesn't owe the mother. The baby doesn't owe the mother healing. The baby doesn't owe the mother that, but he thinks that. I owe you healing. I don't know why, but I owe you this. I got to fix you this. I'm guilty. I did something wrong. I got to fix you. I'll save you. I'll cure you. I'll be your shrinker man. I'll fix you with my magic. I'll be a magic baby and fix you, mother. Okay, baby, come on, do it. Fix me. Heal me. I didn't, my mother hurt me. You got to fix me. I'll fix your mother. He can't. Guilty. Oh my God. Timeless. Timeless. No time in that brain. So he always feels guilty. That's like a kind of debt. In German, guilt and debt are the same word. So he's in debt, dused. Got to face all this nonsense. Okay, he wasn't born with this. He created this false belief after the parents hurt him. The father hurt him and the sister hurt him. He wasn't born hurt. He was born to be loved, born to have a mother, born to go through developmental process, and then born to be himself and express himself, and born to have the blue jay of happiness fly with a pleasant feeling called the bluebird of happiness. Born to express what's unique about him, that's called meaning, and a path with heart and delight and pleasure. Okay. He was born for that kind of stuff. Born to become an adult, an elder, generative, to become generative man, generative women. That's the natural state of affairs. He was born to go through developmental process. He wasn't born to be betrayed by his mother. Come on, this is the disturbance here. He wasn't born to be betrayed. He was born to be loved. But if he's betrayed, he feels guilty to get along with the mother somehow. So Fairbairn calls this the moral defense. The baby's going to be like a little judge. Gee, mother must be seen as good for my survival, and but I feel pain. I guess I'm no good. So he makes that up just to organize himself somehow. Yeah, okay, good. What time is it? Little luck today. I've had a lot of bad luck getting venues lately. Today is a little lucky. 5:30, 5:34. All right. Okay, let's wrap this up in a few minutes. I know it's going to get busy later on. Let me just sit back. Can I sit back for a minute? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue talking about the Twilight Zone episodes. I didn't know this, but there's actually a continuous 24/7 TV channel called the Twilight Zone channel, and I just saw a news item about it. And they said you can control which episodes you want to watch. So it's more like a player, really, I guess. But as mentioned at the beginning, Forbidden Planet, 1956, a metaphor for the unconscious. That planet is a symbol for one's unconscious. That planet's been around for 200,000 years, i.e., we became Homo sapiens sapiens 200,000 years ago. So that's in reference to that. So we've had an unconscious for 200,000 years. Requiem for our pain, 200,000 years. Well, no, the requiem is we became a traumatized version of ourselves 10,000 years ago, or in the Star Trek episode, it was 6,000 years ago, and the requiem for that. That's what Spock was playing. Interesting episode. You got Spock just playing the requiem for humanity's pain of being a traumatized version of ourselves for the past 6,000 years. The requiem, the music at the funeral, right, kind of thing. And it was an original score because the guy who's lived for 6,000, the symbol of the man for 6,000 years, his current incarnation was Flint or something, but he used to be Brahms or Beethoven or Mozart, one of those guys. So, and he wrote an original requiem, like the Mozart requiem, and Spock was playing. That's a pretty good episode. Yeah. But to appreciate the episode, I think you really need to watch The Forbidden Planet first and read the quotes here and to get the psychology a little bit. Okay, wrap it up here. Oh, is that the place? Aha. Yesterday I showed you some pictures of some luxurious units. I think it's this building here. Is it this one? Or is it that? Oh, no, that one. Oh, it's either that one or this one, or one of these two. One of these two buildings has a really super luxurious interior. One of these two. Maybe it's the one under construction back there. Or one of these three, let's say. Or maybe it's one of these four. Okay. At the end of yesterday's video, there's some huge advertisements for some luxurious condos. You need millions of dollars to buy them. Here's a new. Hey, these guys have a little gong. Maybe I can close up the video. Let's close up the video with the sound of the gong. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Let's hit the gong, the little mini gong there. Okay, at the sound of the gong, let's close up this video here. Okay, so for the love of narrative medicine, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much.